Okay, we are live. We are live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully, you're well. Just some boxing talk, non boxing talk, etc. All that good stuff. UFC happened this weekend. There was no boxing, so I actually watched the UFC. I'm a casual MMA fan at best, but I do follow what goes on. Certain fights I get up for. And obviously, as I said, there was no boxing this week, so I decided to watch the Adesanya versus Sean Strickland fight. That was a big surprise. That was Sean Strickland really pulling out a career best performance, totally schooling Israel Adesanya. Yeah, bro, and Sean Strickland's trolling, I have to admit, bro, it's fucking funny. It's fucking funny. The guy's got some good one-liners. He's got a good gimmick going for himself. He's entertaining. He's fun. He's not politically correct. But that's all I really saw him as going into this fight. A fun guy who, isn't really like a top 3 level guy, but bro, he put on a great performance against Adesanya, boxed his head off, checked for leg kicks, walked him down, outstruck him, got the distance spot on. Yeah, man, he had Adesanya backing up basically throughout the whole fight. Dropped him in round 1, hurt him a couple of times after that. Yeah, domination by Strickland. And how Dana White, the cope from Dana White's unreal as well. Like, he is so upset that Adesanya lost. So upset. And they're talking about giving Adesanya a rematch. He got dominated. How's this guy getting a rematch when he's 1-2 in his last 3? He got knocked out by Pereira. He gets a rematch then, which is understandable because he was a long reigning champion. He was winning the fight and he got knocked out. Fair enough, have a rematch. He wins the rematch and then he immediately loses his title to Strickland. I don't think he deserves another rematch. He's 1-2 in his last 3. Yeah, that's a lovely right hand, bro, disguised by that jab nicely. That's really what he was doing all night. Was the jab, the 1-2, the jab right, straight right hand, and that was all he needed. He was feinting sometimes, giving Adesanya different looks, checking the leg kicks, outstriking him, walking him down, and yeah, he performed really well. He performed really well. I think Strickland. I mean, Dricus du Plessis. He's coming off a win over Robert Whittaker. He knocked out Robert Whittaker. Doesn't that guy deserve a title shot? What about the winner of Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa? If Chimaev wins that fight, bro, that's a big fight. Yeah, he looked poor. Reese. He looked really, really poor. Is he going to... I don't know, maybe he's starting to fade now. He's 34 years old, 35 years old. He's mid-30s. Maybe now he's finally starting to slow down. Maybe it's that, but listen, man. Strickland dominated as far as I'm concerned. He dominated. Yeah, I'm good, Albert. I'm good. Yeah, all this weird ass dog shit he's been doing. And he got his ass dog walked. So there you go. And did you see as well on the undercard a couple of post-fight interviews? Bro, those guys were going in, man. Those guys were going in. That's what I like about the UFC. It just feels a little more close to reality. It feels a little closer to reality in regards to, they kind of let fighters say what they want. There's none of these like, I don't know. It feels like a lot of these guys in the UFC care less about their image. They'll just say what they want. There's more characters in the UFC, basically. There's more characters, which is entertaining. There's something for everybody. There's something for everybody. But like I say, man, when it comes to fucking boxing, it's like, bro, it's same old, same old. Cookie cutter personalities. You know, just nonsense. Definitely less fake personas in the UFC. I've been watching the UFC for a fair few years, and now it's very rare there's a full fight to watch. Yeah, yeah. UFC seems to be getting that side of things. They seem to be doing better in regards to that sort of thing. You know, letting fighters organically find themselves and come up with their own gimmicks and things like that. It's just more entertaining. Like outside the fighting, the UFC is a lot more entertaining. Bro, my StreamYard is fucking frozen. What's going on here? My StreamYard is totally frozen. If I was a pro boxer, what weight class? Probably I'd cut down to 160. Bro, what is going on here? It's so fucking annoying. But yeah, if I was fighting, I'd be like 160-ish, I guess. What's up, Seagar? How you doing? Yeah, the Tyson Fury fans in overdrive now. Yeah, yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now they have to like come up with another reason as to why he's not ducking the fight with Usyk, even though he's basically said it from his own mouth now. But you know, they'll still come up with some convoluted reason as to why Tyson Fury's not ducking. He's not to blame. This, that, and the third. These guys are clowns. These guys are absolute fucking clowns. Is the top and bottom of it. Imagine doing all that groundwork, all that like damage control for the past few months, right? About the Usyk situation, and then Tyson Fury comes out with that. Can you imagine? I think it could be good. I think it could be good. Copendo 9. I think it's a good fight for both guys, to be honest. Gassiev needs a name at heavyweight. He's fought a load of, let's be real, a load of crap so far. And he's been living off that loss to Tyson Fury for far too long. Both of these guys need a fight. Neither guy is really an attractive opponent right now. Why not fight each other? I think it makes a lot of sense. UFC was good at the very start, but it since went way more professional. I think it's crap. Bro, it's still far ahead of boxing in regards to that side of things. Yeah, bro, Frank Warren is what he is. They're trying their best to sell it, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it will do well, Ngannou Fury. I think it will do well. I don't think it's going to do quite as well as people think it will, but maybe I'm wrong. Ngannou's not really a massive name. Yeah, that's why I say he's laughing at you all, and you're letting him. They obviously aren't bright enough to understand that. No, it's crazy. What's up, JD? Mate, sorry. Some comments on Tyson Fury's. Sorry, I just saw some comments on Tyson Fury's post, and saw a lot of people thinking Fury beats Ngannou and John Jones in the cage. I immediately reminded you because you said they really believe it. Yeah, they do, bro. They genuinely believe Tyson Fury could go into the UFC and beat John Jones in the cage at heavyweight. John Jones would smoke that guy like a bag of weed in the cage. He'd kick his legs out. Well, he'll do what he wants, man. He'll do what he wants. He may just go for a takedown immediately, whatever. Bullshit, man. It's absolute nonsense. So yeah, I'm not that far into it, bro. I only really watch like the big UFC fights. I'm a casual. I have heard good things about one though, one championship. I don't think Fury. No, Fury doesn't believe it, bro. Tyson Fury doesn't believe it, but he knows his fans will. He knows his fans will. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's all he needs. When you have like rabid fans like he does, they'll believe anything, they'll buy anything. And that's all it's going to be this year. One fight, one exhibition fight. By the way, we was told this wasn't an exhibition, that it's going to count on like their official records. Why is it not on BoxRec yet? Why is it not on BoxRec? Yeah, exactly. Boxing's kind of dead right now. It's kind of dead. There's nothing, honestly, there's nothing really on the schedule that's really jumping out at me. One of the fights I'm looking forward to most is Subriel Matias versus Ergashev. That fight's in October, I believe. Yeah, exactly, Wayne. Yeah, Fury literally just said on Sky Sports Boxing that he avoided Usyk. Totally pathetic. But bro, I'm telling you, man, his fans will come up with some convoluted way to spin it. Bro, can you imagine Fury's legs getting kicked? Can you imagine? I honestly, bro, in like an MMA fight, I think John Jones will fucking smoke Ngannou. I really do. I think the levels of talent are so far apart. I know Ngannou's bigger. I know he hits harder, but that's really it. That's really it. John Jones does everything else better. He's a better striker. He's got better kicks. He's more creative with the striking. He's got better grappling. He's got better defense. Better submissions, better wrestling, jiu-jitsu. John Jones does everything better than Ngannou. John Jones would beat Ngannou. And that's kind of crazy. Both boxing and MMA have been robbed of like the fights that we should have seen. Fury versus Usyk and John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. But there you go. Yeah. I wouldn't mind it, Wizard Sleeve, if he actually fought guys. I wouldn't care about his personality. Because John Jones is exactly the same. That guy's a fucking narcissist. Probably a psychopath, actually. But at least he fights guys when he's not banned or taking coke. Big up to yourself, Reese. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, being a sycophant for any man is embarrassing. I agree. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Makachev versus Oliveira too. I think Makachev wins again, but you never know with MMA. That's the thing. He dominated the first fight, but Oliveira is a sneaky fighter, man. Very experienced as well. Yeah, he may be. Exactly, yeah. But I think Makachev wins again. I think he'll beat Oliveira. What's up, Nordic? Big up to yourself. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and both Fury and Ngannou have robbed us of those fights. If you're an MMA guy, Ngannou versus Jones is like one of the biggest fights, and same as if you're a boxing fan, Fury versus Usyk, and that bullshit fights robbed us of both fights because he could have never have fought. He could have never have fought Ngannou if John Jones fought him first, because John Jones would have ruined Ngannou's hype. What he's rebuilt, he would have ruined it. In my opinion. Because if John Jones beat Ngannou the way I think he would have beat him, then nobody would have really cared about this guy going into boxing. Now, I would watch that. I would actually rate Tyson Fury if he were to do that. If he were to fight Ngannou in MMA, I would rate that. I'd say, do you know what? Yeah, it's not a boxing match, but fair enough. I'll give him credit for that. Yeah, John Jones is one of the most talented MMA fighters I've seen, no doubt. So he could really do everything, John Jones. One of those rare MMA fighters who could do everything. I think in terms of pure talent, like he's up there. Fedor, Jose Aldo. There's a lot of real good guys in UFC or MMA. Like Fedor was ridiculously good, man. He was a great striker, powerful, combat sambo, good ground game. Can you imagine if Fury gets knocked out by Ngannou? Can you imagine? That'd be crazy. Yeah, I think Miocic at this stage is basically way past it, JD. I don't think he'll have much for John Jones, personally. I think John Jones' most dangerous contender is Sergey Pavlovich. I think he's the most dangerous guy, you know. Yeah, when it comes to MMA, I only follow what's his name? MMA Guru. Inoue versus Robeisy Ramirez or John Real Casemiro. Yeah, looks like he's going to fight Tapales at the end of the year to try to get undisputed again. And after that, he has mentioned a fight with John Real Casemiro is possible. Yeah, that's when I realized as well. So I've been a casual MMA fan for a long time. But yeah, when he started like throwing around DC, that was crazy. And you know, in the first fight, when he sat him down and just like tapped him on the head, like good boy, that shit was cold. To do that to an Olympic wrestler, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. And fair enough, we can talk about steroids and PEDs. But I believe all of those guys are on it, man. So it is what it is. That was one of the coldest things I've seen in combat sports was when he tapped fucking DC on the head after he sat him down. That was crazy. That was crazy. Thing is, Dana would probably demand Jones to take on Pavlovich, but I can see Jones retiring after the Stipe fight, as Ngannou's in the fucking PFL. I don't think he will though, because even if he retires, I'm sure he's still going to have to like sit out for a long while because he won't be able to fight for another organization. Yeah, he won. He's a two-time gold medalist, Robeisy Ramirez. Two-time gold medalist. Bro, that fucking build-up as well to the the DC rivalry was so fucking fun. So fucking fun. Because you could tell those guys actually hated each other. It was like a real beef. It wasn't just to sell it. You could tell those guys fucking despised each other. Shout out Hawker Mustang. I like MMA Guru too, and everybody should give Sean Strickland his flowers. He was a massive underdog and nobody was picking him to win. But not only he won, he dominated, Izzy. Facts. That's what I was saying in my post-fight review, one of my rare post-fight MMA reviews. It's not like he went in there as a massive underdog and just landed one shot and secured like a surprise knockout. That's not what happened. He dog-walked Adesanya. He won 4 out of 5 rounds, plus dropped him. He dominated that fight. Completely outclassed him, neutralized him, and won decisively. Nobody was picking Strickland to win. And if it, let's say you had you could see the result already, but you couldn't see what method. If you saw that Strickland beat Izzy, you would assume it's by like a one-shot punch or something crazy. But he completely outclassed him. It was insane. It was insane. That's why I don't think Izzy deserves another fight or an instant title rematch. He's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. I don't know, man. I think Ngannou's just trying to get his money, honestly. Bro, Kurt Angle back then, Kurt Angle would have probably done okay in the UFC. Brock Lesnar did okay. And Kurt Angle would have gone to MMA earlier than Brock. Because Kurt Angle won the gold in 1996. And the UFC was in its infancy then. He would have had success in the early UFC, Kurt Angle, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, that fight, yeah, it was hilarious, honestly. Wouldn't be surprised, Judge Olsen. I wouldn't be surprised. Joshua McKean is next, so Eddie can go to Australia to meet his other half, Sky. Yeah. Listen, I do rate Eddie Hearn for doing that, though. If he's actually banging Sky, fair enough. She's like one of the very few female boxers who are attractive. Yeah, but I mean, I wondered that as well. But like, Sean Strickland was coming in at 5 weeks' notice to fight in Australia, the jet lag. Plus, he had a terrible weight cut. He could barely do the interviews after the weight cut. He had a terrible weight cut, 5 week notice, flying to Australia. He had far more reasons to look bad than Izzy did. Do you know what I'm saying? Kurt Angle's a freak. Like, the guy's like, he's a legit wrestler, like amateur wrestling, gold medalist. Yeah, though that was before my time, but I've seen the videos back. It's crazy watching it back. They had all sorts of freak show fights as well. Yeah, I do as well. Mind you, I don't think Pereira can make that weight class anymore. He can't make middleweight anymore, I don't think. But yeah, and Strickland has no business at light heavyweight, so yeah, they'll never fight again. But I agree, like prime for prime, I think Pereira has a bad style for Strickland. Yeah, Kurt Angle is legit tough. Yeah, so is William Regal. They could handle themselves in a pub brawl. Yeah, Kurt is legit. Kurt is legit. Probably not, bro. I heard rumors that he was going to fight Ugas, but now Ugas is fighting Mario Barrios. So I've got no idea what Keith's going to do. Maybe he'll come back and try and fight at 154, but I don't think he really wants to fight, mate, to be honest. I don't think he really wants to fight anymore, if I'm telling you the truth. Big Daddy, fucking hell. The funniest one was when CM Punk went to the UFC and he got dominated by like 2 no names. He got absolutely wrecked. That was the last time the UFC tried that freak show shit as well. They don't really need to rely on that shit anymore. They've built their brand big enough now to where they can stand on their own. Bro, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar was a freak athlete. Yes, again, juiced out of his fucking mind, no doubt. But much like John Jones, the guy's just a freak athlete. Like, that guy could have played so many sports. Amateur wrestler, MMA champion, professional wrestler. I know that's like sports entertainment, but it still takes a lot to do it. He played American football, nearly got to the NFL. Yeah, the NFL, nearly got to the NFL. Brock Lesnar was a freak athlete. He could have played so many different sports. Like, so many different sports. That guy was a fucking freak. Probably one of the most intimidating fighters as well, just looking at the guy. Yeah, Kurt Angle was a beast. Hulk Hogan tells a story of how the young Kurt Angle kept twisting Hogan up like a pretzel at these non-televised house shows. Finally, Hogan said, "Man, what the fuck's going on?" Yeah, Kurt was a fucking gangster. Kurt Angle was a gangster, honestly. Legit tough guy. If you go to that guy and say, "Oh yeah, wrestling's fake," that guy is gonna fuck you up. Yeah, Pride MMA. Yeah, crazy fights. They had some freak show fights back in the day, but they had some great fights as well. You had like a prime Bandalay Silva, Nurko Krokop, Rampage Jackson. These guys, you know. Yeah, yeah. He beat Tim Sylvia. He knocked him out. Yeah, he wasn't as good when he came back for UFC 200. Yeah, he wasn't as good. But he still beat Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt at the time was he was like top 10 ranked at heavyweight. So it's still impressive he won the fight. I know he popped afterwards, cool. But again, all of these guys are on something. Yeah, bro, I think Brock Lesnar's going to die young. That guy's been on so much juice. He's another guy. Alistair Overeem. Bro, that guy was a fucking another crazy juice freak, but a great fighter. Like he was world class in kickboxing and in MMA. Again, probably one of those guys. If he turned to boxing young, he'd have been a good boxer. He turned to kickboxing young, he was a good kickboxer, and he was good at transitioning into MMA. Overeem would have been good in any combat sport, in my opinion. Yeah. He's gone right off the boil. Mariusz Pudzianowski was underrated too. That guy could beat most low-level heavyweights just on strength alone. And later in his career, he actually had fighting skills and improved a lot. I'm not familiar with this guy. Maybe I am. I do know this guy actually. I've never seen him fight, but I know as soon as I typed it in, I recognised the face. Apparently, he lost to Arthur Spilka in a MMA fight. That's crazy. Do you know Arthur Spilka's 3-0 in MMA? That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, Mark Hunt was a tough guy. He had a great chin and great power. Yeah, Ubereem, yeah. Alistair Ubereem, yep. That guy was on all kinds of juice. All kinds of juice. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt there's some tough guys that you don't expect. Okay, so yeah, he was a strong man. Yeah, won the world's strongest man 5 times. That's no easy feat. That's no easy feat. He actually fought Tim Sylvia. That's crazy. Yeah, Tim Sylvia was a former MMA champion in the UFC. That was before like the UFC was like the heavyweight division when Tim Sylvia was champion wasn't great. The heavyweight division's always been kind of weak in the UFC, honestly. It's never been like super strong. I think it was probably best when like it was Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, those sort of guys. Yeah, Marquez was juiced to the gills. Yep. Yeah, Glowacki's had an MMA. Yeah, he's definitely had at least one MMA fight because I think he won. Stefan Struve, yep. Tall, lanky guy, yeah. Yeah, listen, he could be because he's got that those boxing fundamentals. He can turn the shots over. I still don't understand how Bisping won a world championship with one eye. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. He's one of the toughest combat sports athletes I've seen since I've been alive. Michael Bisping. Ridiculously tough guy. Ridiculously tough. He was never the best. And honestly, he kind of lucked out when he won a world title. I don't think he was ever world title, like, I never saw him as that sort of fighter, but he landed a perfect shot and he done it. So his toughness got him through it. His toughness got him through. Yeah, like Arlovsky is still active, right? Andrei Arlovsky, yeah. It's crazy. I remember though back in the day as well, there was all this talk about like various different guys transitioning to boxing. One of the original stories was Badr Hari, the kickboxer, or Badr Hari, however you say his name. He was like a legendary kickboxer, Moroccan descent. And he was supposed to fight in boxing for a long time, but it never happened. Yeah, Fedor had so much ability, man. He could punch hard, had that combat sambo, he could grapple, submissions, jiu-jitsu, etc. Very well-rounded fighter. When you looked at him, he's kind of like the white DC. Like he doesn't look like an athlete, but that guy was surprisingly nimble, agile, quick, great balance, athletically gifted. Very, 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 very good heavyweight. And he's one of those guys, you look at him in the ring or in the cage, however you want to say, perfect poker face, never looked stressed, excellent fighter. One of those guys who's just made for fighting, honestly, Fedor. It was similar to Cro Cop. Cro Cop was like a Mirko Cro Cop. He was like some sort of special forces officer in Croatia. Like this motherfucker, like literally killed people. That guy was a killer, Mirko Cro Cop. What was the saying? Right kick hospital, left kick cemetery. Bro, that's crazy. That guy, an amazing knockout artist. Dan Severn, the UFC Hall of Famer, I think someone from the WWE said he was upset and said, if I don't get whatever, I'll fight Steve Austin for real. They knew he was legit. Yeah. Yeah, Dan Severn was legit. Yeah. The same people who are fueled by Fury all those years are now suddenly waking up to his BS. And the same people who thinks Andrew Tate is a messiah now sheeps. Facts, yeah, facts. Yeah, that was against who was the guy who slammed him on his head? Was it Congo? Who was the guy who slammed him on his head? Because he beat him with like an armbar shortly after. No, I don't think it was. Was it Randleman? I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was. It may have been Randleman. I think it was a black American guy. Because he fucking powerbombed this guy, man. Like, dropped him on his head. And then the guy caught him in like a Kimura or like an armbar or something. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think news will come out on it soon. I do suspect he will get banned, Cop-End. I think they'll make an example of him because he really has nothing to offer now. He's got nobody batting by his side, so to speak. Yeah, James Toney versus Randy Couture. Yeah, bro, he went there for a payday, man. There's no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, when Alistair Overeem said that he got his prime physique from horse meat. Bro, yeah, horse meat and like that's been infused with fucking rocket fuel. Bro, that guy was crazy fucking jacked. And he was such a good kickboxer, Alistair Overeem. Very good kickboxer. Kickboxing back then was good. Because like I say, you had guys like Badr Hari as well. Crazy, crazy talent. Yeah, Tony was a tough bastard, but he had no business in MMA. I don't think he trained a minute for it. I literally think he probably just like boxed in training camp and that's it. I literally think that's what he did. You have to enlighten me, Heimer Haas. I'm not sure what's going on with this fight. I'm not even sure what's going on with this fight. Has there been like an official offer? Has it been? Because I thought the WBC mandated Haney and Frank Martin. So you'll have to explain that one to me, bro. Yeah, yeah. Big underdog, big underdog. I think he was the biggest underdog out of all of Adesanya's title challenges. Yeah. Kevin Randleman, that's it, yeah. Because he fucking powerbombed him, man. And Randleman was a good fighter as well in like the early MMA days. Okay, so Joe Cordina, the Welsh Wizard, is fighting Eddie Vasquez from Texas. Vasquez beat Ray Ford, but was robbed. I think I recall of that fight. Yeah, saw him. I saw him train in person once. He's good. However, Eddie came in overweight last fight. Okay, so yeah, Joe Cordina should win, I would imagine, but could be decent. Could be decent. Yeah, that horse must have been fed on the same stuff that cows are in Mexico. Yeah, facts. Yeah, has that been officially announced now? Has that been officially announced? Oh, it's on BoxRec now. It's on BoxRec. And the WBA Intercontinental title is on the line. 12 rounder in Turkey. It's a weird location, isn't it? Turkey. Weird location. Possibly Jazz. He got buzzed by Nathan Gorman. We need to see more, though. We need to see more from Fabio Wardley, but I suspect he is. Once Badr Hari got on the juice, he easily beat Overeem in the rematch. Badr was a way better. Badr was a way better kickboxer in his early days. Later on, he relied too much on a come forward KO style. Yeah, so when it comes to kickboxing, I'm like a casual. I used to be big in watching like the highlights and shit like that. I could get into kickboxing if I gave it time. I just don't have the time to follow like all the combat sports, unfortunately. Okay, so he's fighting Cambosos instead. You guys are going to have to enlighten me on this. Is the Cambosos fight an interim fight? Because I heard that the winner of that fight could become full champion if Haney vacates. I've totally ignored lightweight ever since Haney and Loma, to be honest. Okay, so Heimer's saying Loma turned it down before Martin negotiations. I don't know how to feel about that, if that is true. In one sense, I kind of get his gripe, just getting arguably robbed in his last one to then fight another A side guy. I kind of get it, honestly. The guy's operating on a different level to like the home fighters. So I kind of get it. But at the same time, if you're fighting, that's probably the best fight out there for you. That's a yeah. Honestly, I don't really have any interest. I'm kind of struggling with Lomachenko now. I've kind of lost interest. I'd rather see him fight. I've said this before. I'd rather see him fight at 130. Have him fight Navarrete. To me, that's the best fight he can be involved in. Yeah, nor should he have. Yeah, Randy did the right thing. Take him down. Randy did the right thing. I think, I think Varlin may outbox Gassiev early, but get stopped late on body shots. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Gassiev will win. I'm not as high on Varlin as a lot of people are. I've not seen much of Bruce Carrington. Keyshawn Davis, I think, is talented, but a long way to go. Joet Gonzalez versus Luis Alberto Lopez. Yeah, good fight. But I'm taking Luis Alberto Lopez. I don't think he'll stop Joet Gonzalez. Joet is usually very tough, got a good chin, more than likely wide on points. That's another thing. What's happening with Shakur and Devin Haney? I don't think Shakur was outpricing himself with Devin Haney, to be honest. Yeah, he's the B-side, but still. See, that's what I'm saying. Oh, one person. So this is the whole ducking thing. See, I don't think Shakur ducked Devin Haney when the offer was not derisory, but bro, come on. It wasn't a great offer, from what we know. And he wasn't willing to be the B-side fighter. So, but he's expecting Lomachenko to be the B-side fighter after he's just been robbed. So it's like, it's one of those. So if a duck is a duck, is Shakur ducking, what's his face, Devin Haney? Yeah, the Benavidez fight has to happen, in my opinion. If he's going to be fighting at 68 continuously, then yeah, the Benavidez fight has to happen ASAP, I think. Yeah, if I was Lomachenko, or not even just Lomachenko, any foreign fighter fighting in the USA, I would kind of be selective too. I can't lie, because you've seen it so many times now. These guys go to America and get fucking jobbed. You see it so many times, just get terrible, terrible decisions so many times. So why would you fucking give up your name value to get robbed again? Kind of makes sense. At the same time, you know, what do you do? Yeah, this is one thing I don't get, like how people actually like a guy like Shakur Stevenson, though. Like how people are like gunning for him, if that makes sense. Like how this guy has a fan base. He's got a beta style. It's beta boxing. You can be a boxer, like a smooth boxer, without being like negative or dull. You can do the two together. You can be a boxer and still be like decent to watch. Like Michael Nunn, for example. Do you know what I'm saying? Ray Leonard could do it all. He could give you that pretty boxing, but he could mix it up. Shakur could mix it up a lot more than he does. And yeah, I've got no business supporting those type of guys. I don't think he'll fight a new A either. Loma versus a new A at 126 or 130 is a super fight. Cash out for Loma. Yeah, it would have to happen in Japan. Bro, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Sean Strickland was pulling the fucking Philly shell. It was insane. No, I've not seen Adam Catterall's take. I'm not a big fan of Adam Catterall, to be honest with you. But maybe he's got a hot take. Yeah, Inouye's got a crazy fan base though in Japan. You look at his viewing figures in Japan, it's insane. Like he gets more viewing figures than most fighters in the world just in Japan. His viewing figures are insane. But a lot of people only think boxing exists in the West. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, bro, Callum Smith, if he's going to beat Beterbiev, it's now. If he's got any chance of beating Beterbiev, it's now. Yeah, I don't know what kind of person would pay for this latest Fury fight. Even casuals are talking about stealing it, laugh out loud. Yeah, facts. Facts. And by the way, Subriel Matias, he's actually fighting again soon. I'll try and find the date, but I think it's October. Um, when is this fight happening? I think it's been officially signed. I swear this fight's been signed. Okay, yeah. So Subriel Matias versus Shoajon Ergashev, 4th of November, IBF title at 140. That's going to be a fucking barn burner. Absolute barn burner. Both guys are aggressive guys. Ergashev tends to be more aggressive on the outside with straight punches. He's not as good on the inside. Matias, come forward guy, best up close and at mid range, good body puncher. He throws more volume than Ergashev, better work rate than Ergashev, and more experienced as well. I think this fight's going to be competitive until it's not. I would take Matias by late stoppage. I think that's an excellent fight, though. That could go. It wouldn't shock me if Ergashev wins. He's got the power. He does have some good boxing skills on the outside, a boxer puncher style. It's like the boxer puncher against the come forward pressure fighter who can fight on the inside. It's a great fight. That is a great fight. That could be sleeper fight of the year. Both of those guys fight in the right way, and it's unbelievable as well. There's a lot of talks about low blows and things like that recently. Matias is a guy who spams the body, like he spams body shots, and like it's quite rare that like shots drift low with Matias. Kind of interesting. But yeah, he called out Haney's fighting style. Yeah, called him a chicken. Yeah, I'll always like Matias though. I like his style. Loma, the size of a Loma still maybe could be interesting, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe it could happen, but if it happens, like it's not going to happen in the foreseeable. It would happen like 18 months time. So yeah, then you would favour a Niue. Yeah, again, the Klitschko brothers in Germany, they were doing crazy numbers both in regards to selling out stadiums and on TV. Apparently, the Saudis are only talking to Frank Warren, and he reckons that Wilder Joshua will end up going to purse bids to watch Warren win with Saudi money. That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder where he's got that from. That is an interesting take. That is an interesting take. Could you imagine if that happened? Frank Warren wins the purse bid for Wilder Joshua, and he takes AJ away for a fight in the biggest fight of his career. Can you imagine? That'd be crazy. Yeah, I saw Frank Warren insult Dan Raphael. Okay, so apparently the Riyadh season is like 6 months long. The Fury and Ngannou will open it, and Joshua Wilder would end it. The next Riyadh season will be Fury Usyk. Okay. Yeah, and also, yeah, always, yeah, rest in peace, Max Dadashev. Yeah, but that was one of those fights, man. Maybe it could have been stopped earlier, but were there any like glaringly obvious signs? Not looking back in hindsight, but looking at it live. I think that's just one of those unfortunate events, one of those ones. Yeah, if Frank Warren won a purse bid for Wilder versus AJ's not taking that fight. Whether he wants to or not is irrelevant. Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, it's going nowhere, no doubt. It's the reason why Adam thinks this is because the WBC have moved Joshua to number two in the rankings, which now means they will call Joshua Wilder as a final eliminator. Yeah, and if PBC and Matchroom can't strike a deal, then it will go down to purse bids. Yeah, it could happen. That could definitely happen. Who knows? Boxing is strange. Stranger things have happened, right? I hate privileged urban American fighters who bring a boring style and say, F a fan. Remember when Tevin Farmer said, fuck the fans? Where is he now? Yeah, serves him right. Yeah, facts. Facts. Any fighter who has that mindset, yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. Boxing now adheres to the Saudi timeline to make its big fights. The sport I love has died. Laugh out loud. Truly sad to see. Oil money is all that is left to prop up boxing. Well, yeah, maybe it is a bad thing, but one thing I can't lie, about Saudi Arabia fights in the Middle East. One thing I really enjoy about them is that, like, as a UK fan, I don't have to wait till like 5 o'clock in the morning. Like Middle East fights kind of happen at the same time as UK fights. So from my perspective, I'm not really fussed, to tell you the truth. But you could make the argument, Henry, that like Saudi are just doing what Las Vegas did, because Las Vegas, they went to these venues not because they necessarily served the fans, because the venues were paying massive fucking site fees. Like, there's a lot of fights that don't really. It doesn't really make sense to put certain fights in Vegas, but these arenas will pay massive site fees. And that's it. Saudis are really just doing what Vegas did to a bigger scale in the grand scheme of things. Klitschko all day long. I think he'll take apart Wilder. Too many holes. I think he'll knock him out quite brutally as well. Both Klitschko's. Yeah. Fucking hell. Motorbikes driving past. Yeah, he'll always say, he's doing it for money. He's not doing it for the fans. Then he'll like try and be a mental health advocate. Blah 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 blah. The guy's a retard, man. Honestly, the guy's a clown. Plus, he'll sell anything now as well. Fuck the fans, but buy my shit. Yeah, exactly. There's too many of these back foot fighters who are just back foot fighters and offer nothing to boxing. Again, you can be an outboxer and still be entertaining. You can still go through the gears. Do you know what I mean? You can still go through the gears. Nobody wants to see a 12-round stink fest against like an overmatched opponent. Nobody wants to see that shit. You know, fiddling about, running and flicking the jab. Nobody likes that style. Even the people who say, "Oh, it's sweet science, bro. Don't you appreciate it?" These guys don't like it. They're just like capping, as the kids say, just because they want to support that guy. It's a boring style. If you actually enjoy it, I would seriously recommend get your blood taken, get it tested, and check your testosterone because there's something wrong with you. Check if you've got a pair of balls as well while you're at it. Give me a Beterbiev all day long. Beterbiev all day long. Subriel Matias all day long. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's what it's about. I think Adam Smith is under lock and key, bro. Nobody's seen this guy since, bro. I've heard all sorts of rumours about Adam Smith, Judge Olsen. What's true or not, I don't know. The prominent one I've heard is about gambling. Like he's got some gambling issue. But again, I don't want to speculate. So I don't know where he's at. But not seen him for a long time. Fury's going to retire without fighting Usyk and claim the fans were bad for his mental health to garner sympathy. Yeah, facts. Probably. Yeah, I think Tyson Fury, listen, I think he's one of these people who uses it as a crux. He uses it as a get out of jail free card to alleviate his bad behavior and to alleviate himself of responsibility. And a lot of people do that in general in real life. That's what I've noticed. But the thing is now, everyone's talking about mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health. I think it actually takes away from the ones that are really struggling. Because the ones that are really struggling, more than likely are not going to say. Do you know what I'm saying? That they're going to be living in their own head. That kind of thing. That's how it usually works. The ones who cry about it the most usually are just attention-seeking bastards. I'm not even sure he has bipolar. I think he just buckles when he's in certain situations that he can't handle. I may be wrong on that, to be fair. Well, listen, bro, there's various aspects of Tyson Fury's story I really doubt, including like the whole Ferrari into a bridge, you know, driving a Ferrari into a bridge thing and he just stopped. I don't believe that either, to be honest with you. Just how he described it was like something out of a movie. It's like, bro, come on, man. Are people that gullible? Are people that gullible? Yeah, I'm sure he was stressed to fuck when he was getting investigated for failing a PED test. I'm sure he was. Probably was down. Cool. But do I believe it was to the extent in which he said? Of course not. I'll be real. Of course not. I hope that's not true. Yeah, I heard that's not true. Hopefully it's nothing like bad, yeah. He's a cornball, man. I can't get behind any guy who fucking paints his nails and does all that type of ish. I'm sorry. He's a bit of a nerd. He's a bit of a nerd. Yeah, exactly. Most people who off themselves, it's a shock to everyone because they didn't know they were struggling because actual depressed people keep it to themselves. Yeah, that seems to be the trend or the theme. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions, but I think that's the rule of thumb. Yeah, he said he was so flat broke after the Klitschko fight, and he still went for a drive in his Ferrari. Yeah, I know, right? I'd imagine the Ferrari story is of him driving and being stressed and thought I could end it. But that's probably it, yeah. Yeah. Ryan Garcia is another one, yep. Ryan Garcia is another one. Had mental health issues because he fucked 2 chicks and couldn't pull out and had 2 kids. That's a condom issue, not a mental health issue. Yeah. Again, it's responsibility, isn't it? It's alleviating yourself of responsibility and blame for your mistakes. That's exactly what it is. And that's what most people do this day and age. You know? Something goes wrong in their personal lives. Instead of just dealing with it, I need a mental health break, I'm stressed. You're supposed to be stressed. You're supposed to be anxious. You're supposed to have, feel those emotions. It doesn't mean you're mentally ill. We've just been coached now. Society's been coached to where a lot of people are so weak where they can't even handle a bit of adversity. Sorry, and they're basically taught to fucking put their head in the sand when things get tough. Oh, I need a mental health break. Do you know how many people I know have been signed off from work for a mental health break? Do you know how many fucking people? It's insane. It's insane. Even if it's insane. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's all nonsense, JD. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett's another fucking idiot. Can't stand him. Still not sure, Henry. I'm not sure on that fight. I kind of want to see the weigh-in because I think, again, I've said it before, but I think Joe Joyce made a big mistake going into that fight light. I do. I kind of want to see the weigh-in for that fight before I make my mind up. Oh, wow. Yeah, I used to work in the care industry for mental health. A lot of sad cases. People change, moods contradict, etc. But they're genuinely nice people who mean well. Didn't meet anyone like Fury. Yeah. It just seems like a charade to me, the whole Fury thing. Maybe there's some sort of underlying issue, but not to the extent in which he says. Listen, I just think he has an aversion to the truth more than anything. I think he's a pathological liar. Maybe that indicates some sort of psychopathy or mental illness. I don't know. Like a pathological liar. Because there are people like that in life. I'm sure you've all come across them. People who lie all the time, even for no reason. They're the people in life you really need to beware of. You get those guys who kind of stretch the truth for no reason whatsoever. If you ever spot one of those people who lie about things for no reason, they're just lying to make themselves sound good about some trivial thing, you have to beware of those guys. You really do. You have to beware of them. The people who lie about things that are not consequential, it's not like they're lying about something they did do. It's not like lying out of self-preservation, which is bad in itself, but there's a reasoning for it. If you're lying about something that doesn't really matter, bro, those people need to be watched. Yeah, proper twat. Yeah, he is. Can't stand him. It's kind of insane. That more people know who Paddy Pimblett is than Leon Edwards, a UFC champion. It's kind of insane. Yeah, I think he's a poor liar and can't stop now he's found an excuse for it. Yeah, facts. My 105-pound, 5'2" Vietnamese mum wasn't complaining of mental health issues when my dad was in the commercial prison camps, and she'd do anything to push through. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, bro. Perseverance alone can take you a long way. Fortitude and perseverance to cope through adversity. You know, I mean, that's what all of the religious scriptures tell us, to try and be honorable, to try and do the right thing even through adversity and do the best you can. All the religious doctrines have taught us that. But yeah, you've got 6'7", 280-pound millionaires in the modern world complaining because he does coke and bangs hookers. Yeah, facts. Yeah, but he's achieved something, bro. But more people know who fucking Paddy Pimblett is. That's crazy. That's what it takes now to stimulate most people, is come out with a couple of one-liners, start screaming and flailing your arms about. That's all most people need to be intellectually stimulated, which is fucking insane. Oh, Leon Edwards is boring. He's this, he's that. Bro, he's a world champion. A real good technician. But, you know, Paddy Pimblett, silly haircut, terrible fucking promos, and act like a degenerate. That's what these guys want. TikTok generation. Yeah, one of my friends is like that, always lying about things for the sake of it to make him sound amazing. Yeah, all insubstantiated claims. The more I learn about psychology, the more I think he's a psychopath. Yeah, that's a very big tell, I think, in somebody. If you know somebody like that who lies about things, even if it's like it's kind of inconsequential, it's silly to lie about. But if you catch somebody lying about things to make their lives seem better, just because, then yeah, you should really avoid those people. You should really avoid those people. And it's always coming from a place really to one-up you. It's not. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to one-up you and make you feel a certain type of way. That's what it's about. And yeah, that probably is a sign of psychopathy. Or it's certainly linked, I would say. My mate, who I mentioned one week, told me he met a Swedish girl on holiday. She said she loves and has a low. She said she loves him and has a low body count. A few days later, she's a 29-year-old virgin, and wants me to be her first. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Has a low body count, then she's a virgin. Yeah, it's crazy. But these people can't even keep track of their own lies. That's the issue. They kind of self-snitch after a while. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is some sort of telltale sign of like psychopathy in a person. The people who constantly lie, like pathological liars. Because again, there's lying and there's lying. There's like lying. Some people don't lie unless it's for self-preservation, which again, it still isn't the right thing to do. But at least there's like some sort of method there. There's some sort of reason there. But it's the people who lie about random things for no reason that you should really be wary of. I agree. Yeah, he's the guy who fought Ray Ford and got robbed. I used to have a mate who did that, but I don't think he was a psychopath, but he was dirt poor, and I think he was ashamed, so he lied about his life to other people. Yeah, listen, it's definitely not like a one size fits all thing. Yeah, there are people who do that because they're ashamed of certain aspects of their lives, no doubt, no doubt. But I think we can see case by case basis the energy in which they do it with. You know, you can just tell with some people. You know, they'll lie about random things to try and one up you. And that's really all they're doing it for, to make you feel a certain way and to make themselves feel better. It's really just to undermine you. It's not to make themselves feel better about their circumstances. It's to undermine you or somebody else. They're the ones you have to beware of. Yeah, the guy literally has no empathy and cannot even go on a night out without a row. Um, and it's never his fault. Even at a funeral, he was causing rows. Now I look back, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely case by case, but it's definitely case by case. But I've just seen certain individuals and experienced that type of behavior and seeing how they turn out. But you're right. It's again, I say that is one form of like self-preservation, though, like a social self-preservation. So I think it depends on the individual case. To be honest, I know a guy who was blatantly a virgin till he was 30. He would lie about hookups. I don't think it was malicious. He was just trying to be accepted. Yeah, but again, that's almost yeah. It's almost like a social self-preservation. That is. So you can see the reason for why he would do it. I need. It's a weird one, right? Haney versus Prograis. You told me a year ago that fight was going to get made. I'd be super excited, super excited. But as they say, boxing, you're as good as your last performance. And Prograis wasn't too hot against Zarila. I felt he won that fight, by the way, but he didn't look too hot. And as we know, Haney can pull that sort of style, back foot boxing, make you take the lead, etc. I'm not as excited for it as maybe I should be. I'm hoping that was just a one-off performance by Prograis, and I'm hoping he kind of rebounds and gets back to form. If he gets back to form, it's a really interesting fight. Yes, exactly, Capio. Many pathological liars are lazy narcissists. They wish to elevate their status without actually doing the grind that would improve their life. Who needs to buy a Ferrari when you can lie on YouTube? Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of those sort of people online. Do you think anyone domestically can stop Conor Benn hype train, or is he the best at his weight class domestically? What even is Conor Benn's weight class now? By the way, what is his weight class at 147? I don't think anybody in the UK beats Conor Benn right now at 147. So you're looking at guys like Michael McKinson, Chris Congo. I don't think anybody in the UK beats Conor Benn at 147. Personally. To your point about religion, Tyson Fury claims he is super religious but does everything that contradicts his beliefs. That's why I don't take or talk religious people seriously. They use it as a crutch. It's like anything. Like I've met a lot of religious people who would give you the shirt off their back. They really are what they say they are. But others definitely use it as a selling point to a certain degree, especially in public figures. And I think Tyson Fury is guilty of that. Again, we go back to the scripture of pretty much all religion. They always warn you about false idols and false prophets. Tyson Fury gives me that kind of vibe, to be honest with you. The whole man of a people shtick. But look at some of the stuff he sells. Look at how he's gone back on his own beliefs, like you said, about certain things, just to get back in the good graces of the media. Tyson Fury's deity is money. He has no interest in defending the WBC belt. He wants to use the champion status to make money in meets and greets and fighting wrestlers. Facts. Yeah, basically, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it depends on how much he declines now he's off the eggs. But honestly, I don't think anybody beats Conor Benn domestically in the UK at 147. Personally, I don't think it is. To be honest, your old Dar, I don't think it is. I mean, look at society now, where we live in a society now where religion has less of a hold than it's ever had here in the West, and things don't seem to be going upwards. If religion was this toxic ideology or belief system that a lot of people say it was, we should be in a better place right now. But no, men are killing themselves on a higher rate year by year. So-called depression is rising year by year. A lot of people are miserable as sin. Divorce rates are going up. People's ability to actually just take care of themselves is going down. You see some of the states out and about, just woefully unfit, fat, overweight, terrible shape, both mentally and physically. I think I think the whole false prophets, beware of false prophets and false idols, I think really rings true. And I believe in God. I'm not like religious. I don't follow like an organized religion, but I think that's very true. I think a lot of people's priorities now are so skew if it's led a lot of people down the garden path, so to speak. I can't fathom how you can live this life and think to yourself, I'm really the only thing that matters. I don't understand how you can live life and not think you're serving some sort of higher power or higher purpose. But a lot of people now, their main fucking objective is just to get money or just to get social status or just to get a social media following. It's all shallow, like super shallow. Super shallow. It's all super shallow. Like if you genuinely feel like you're answering to somebody higher than you or something higher than you, I always believe you'll have more persistence than the next man who doesn't believe that. Yeah, Andre Ward was a good example of like using religion, yeah, as a selling point. And there's definitely something in like whether you believe it's organized religion, whether you just believe in God, whether you believe in spirituality, whatever you believe in, like what all of these like different theories and whatnot, they all kind of overlap. The fact that like so many people in high up positions believe in such things has to make you think, surely. Like there's something else other than just we are what we are, we're just flesh and blood, just science, mere science. A lot of these higher power individuals, they believe in things like Freemasonry and the occult and things like that. Why is that? If it's just what science says it is, why are they taking that shit on board? I've questioned like the origins of religions as well. I've had like thoughts like is it like a control scheme, like a man-made control scheme to actually sever your ties with God or to lessen your ties with God and maybe not fulfill your own spiritual potential. I thought about that as well. I've questioned religion, but I certainly don't question God. Yeah, I agree. KPO. Yeah, he's shown no Again, no, he's taken no responsibility. He's taken zero responsibility. Yeah, I was an anti-theist for many years, which is an atheist on speed. But after witnessing the peace and joy Buddhism brings to poor parts of Thailand, I say live and let live these days. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm not trying to like I can't convert anybody anyway because I'm not like I don't follow any organized religion. I respect religion very much so. I just believe in God. I know to like some strictly religious people, that's probably delusional, but it sounds delusional, but I believe I know I have a connection with God, so I don't need an organized religion to have a connection with God. You're actor. Mormonism was basically a scam. I forgot the guy's fucking name, but the creation of Mormonism is is really interesting. Actually, it's an interesting story. I haven't looked at it for like probably 10 years. But I've heard all sorts of different theories on religion and whatnot. Con men have taken scripture and corrupted it, and those are the examples. Yeah, this is it. If anything, if you look at the trend of importance of Christianity in the West, its downward curve is correlated with an upward curve of degeneracy in the West. It's left a void where people have made themselves God. Appeasing that God means pursuing your own pleasures and passions above all else. As the phrase goes, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world he never existed. Yeah, and that's when I say I always go back to the false idols and false prophets. I don't think that's necessarily just false prophets or idols is necessarily a physical person or a mortal person, but it can just be your base desires, whether it be sex or to get money or to get social status, this, that, and the other. I kind of all throw it all in one box, kind of thing. Yep, do what thou wilt. Yep, pretty sure Adam, Alistair Crowley used that quote a lot, or do art thou, whatever his quote was. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, atheism is a religion in of itself, really. It's kind of weird though how even atheism has shifted a lot. In the early 2000s, these guys were purely like ultra pro science to like the nth degree. But now these same atheists, they believe a guy can be a girl and a guy can get pregnant, and even atheism has switched. As corrupted as atheism was back then, it's even more corrupted now. Yes, crazy, JD. Luckily, I've never had any experience with that or known anybody like that. Thank God. Yeah, Brian Cox. Yeah, Brian Cox is a fucking clown. Cox by name, Cox by nature. Bomac got robbed for his Haribos last time he was in the UK, so he came strapped up this time. Strap season, bro. Yeah, he took that strap season shit fucking literally. I had heard that though. Apparently, the last time he was in the UK, he got jumped or mugged. Maybe he was shook. No idea, actually. I hope it happens. But the cut that Fabio Wardley suffered may affect his sparring, so it could get pushed back. It could get pushed back. Well, that's what I was saying, Capio. Like, did he bring the gun here? I don't understand how that could have happened. Did he bring the gun? Like, did he bring the gun in the country first, and then he got caught with it on the way out? That's what I don't understand about that whole case. That's what I don't understand. But in all seriousness, I would pardon Brian Bomac McIntyre because guns should be legal anyway. I'd pardon him. I'd let him go. Guns should be legal. Well, I've heard this rumor. So yeah, he may have flown in private, so he didn't get searched. Okay, that would kind of make sense. Honestly, the way Strickland dominated that fight, it's hard to see how Izzy wins unless he knocks him out. And yeah, knives are fucking scary as well. I'd much rather get shot than get stabbed. I'd much rather get shot than get stabbed. To be honest. To me, the gun is like the ultimate expression of freedom. Or one of the ultimate expressions of freedom. It always makes me laugh when I see Americans who are anti-gun. You guys are so fucking lucky, honestly. So fucking lucky. Gun ownership should be made mandatory. I'm for it, bro. I'm for it. Each to their own, man. That's what I say. Each to their own. As long as you're not like out here fucking harming people or pushing like toxic ideologies or lifestyles, I think you're all good. Yeah, man, it was just so one-sided. Apology. I was shocked how one-sided it was. I really was. I was shocked. Nobody saw that coming. Bro, he was slick though. My man was pulling a fucking shoulder roll. It's crazy. Bro, I think Jordan Thompson. I actually quite like him. Seems like a nice fella, but I think the guy's too chinny, man. Far too inexperienced. He's a rangy guy, can throw the 1-2, but I just think he's very basic, very green. I think he'll get stopped, to be honest. But, you know, Opetaia's been out for over a year, coming off a bad jaw injury. Maybe now's the time to roll the dice. But I'd imagine he'll get beat comfortably, probably stopped mid-rounds. Yeah, bullies are killing more people nowadays than knives. Yeah, bruv. Mad. Based. Bastistan. Yeah, Switzerland have a lot of guns. Like the average, yeah, it's a really heavily armed country. It's a very heavily armed country. But guns kill people. Guns kill people. Guns cause all the problems. Look at Switzerland's murder rate. That's purely a cultural thing. It's purely a cultural thing in America. Where were all of these mass shootings in like the 1950s? They didn't exist. 500k people in the UK have firearms licenses, so I'd guess at least 1 million registered legal guns in the UK, more than most think. Yeah, guns are wasted on the Swiss. They all go to bed in pajamas at 8 p.m. Big up Michael. What's up, man? Michael Fulton. What's up? Oh, your current job has a branch in Switzerland. Get out there, bro. Get out there. Get strapped up. Get a fucking house in the Alps. Get some rifles. In Japan, guns are allowed and they have low crime rates. I'm assuming in a place like Japan, I guarantee foreigners won't be able to buy them. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, imagine Roger Federer pulls a gun on you. Yeah, big up, man. I have to say though, Novak Djokovic. I'm not even a big tennis guy, but Djokovic, man, absolute goat. Smashed it this weekend. Absolute goat. Big up, Capio, man. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for subbing, man. And yeah, have a good walk, man. Stay safe. Yeah, America's crazy right now, Dumame. I'm not sure what, bro. America in 2024 is going to be insane with the election. It's going to be insane. I've got no fucking idea how that goes. No idea. Yeah, I don't really watch tennis, but I like Djokovic. He always just comes across kind of based. I like Djokovic. He was my favorite of like the big three at the time. Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. I liked Federer, but a shotgun blast would bounce off Marius Vax's chin. Yo, they could fucking like clone Marius Vax's head and use his jaw as like an upgraded version of Teflon. That guy's fucking chin was mad. His chin could have had somebody's eye out, bro. His chin was fucking mad. I've not seen this Matchroom card. You know what, bro? I fucking hate them. The Monaco cards usually. Like, it's the atmosphere, man. They're so fucking dead. Oh, that's the Joe Cordina card. Yeah, I've seen the Joe Cordina fight. Who else is on there? Oh, this is a shit card, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Oh, that is poor. Yeah, that's a shit card, man. It's not a great card. Vasquez versus Joe Cordina. Like Vasquez arguably beat Ray Ford. That's all I know him from. He's an all right fighter, but nothing special. Joe Cordina should take care of him comfortably. You know, when the mayor of Chicago's hanging out with Lil Durk, there's a problem. bro. Yeah. America's wild, man. Honestly. Yeah, there was a cut. There was, yeah. Most of the Monaco cards have been really poor. That's probably the worst one on paper. Ramla Ali is fighting. Yeah, bro. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, you know you're gonna do like the Dirty Harry impression as well. Fucking walking around like fucking Clint Eastwood. If we all had like an allowance for one gun, so you get one handgun and one like AR or any assault rifle. I'm taking like a fucking Desert Eagle as my pistol. I know it's not fucking practical. I get it. That's for show off. That's just for showing off. For like ARs and assault rifles and shit like that, I'd probably take. Do you know what? I would just like a kitted out AK. I would just like a kitted out real AK, like a refurbed AK, like with its like modern bits on it. Yeah, yeah. But Beterbiev has to build a time machine to stop the JFK assassination. He blocked the bullets with his beard, and JFK's head exploded out of sheer amazement. Bro, yeah, he got popped, man. He got popped. I'm starting a rumor that Joe Cordina failed a drug test and is serving a ban, so is fighting outside the British Boxing Board of Control jurisdiction. People would believe it, bro, on Twitter. Asadar, what's up? You're taking the Beretta M9 and an AK-47. But honestly, probably I didn't pick the most practical guns, but I like them. I like them. I feel like AKs though. AK is going to last you forever. That shit, those shits don't break, man. The AKs. Any condition, the AK is fine. You could drop it in the mud. You can have it in the desert. That shit is fucking bro. Those shits last forever. AKs. In terms of durability, they're crazy. I don't really know what fights are happening, bro. Charlo, Canelo. I've got Canelo late, or maybe even on points, but Canelo wins. I think Bam Rodriguez knocks out Sonny Edwards late. Aside from that, I'm not really sure what's coming up. Allegedly. You mean you've got 2 shotguns, a 9 and a 380, which is like a little James Bond piece that holds 8 rounds. Allegedly, I'm a felon. You have those guns on GTA, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a nice little collection. It's a nice collection. Yeah, man. Look at where the AK's been used. Like it's been used for so long. When did the AK come? Like AK-47 come out? 60s. I want to say, maybe even late 50s. 1948 was their first production. 1948. That's insane. It's mad that shit's still fucking so prevalent across the world. Paul Pogba's got okay, damn. Paul Pogba suspended for taking testosterone. That's crazy. Never see that. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, it was terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. I've read this as well. Apparently, the AK-47 is the gun that's taken more lives than any other. Yeah, I've read that as well. I've read that as well. I'm not surprised considering like the if you look at like the sheer amount of conflicts that are still going on in the world, the AK is still being used, man. The AK is still being used. Yeah, he's still got them stashed on Vice City Dell. Tommy Vercetti, yeah, Tommy Vercetti, man. He's my favorite GTA character, Tommy Vercetti. Those were the days when like games were actually fucking good. I shot an AK in Bulgaria. And also a Makarov. If you know what a Makarov is, it's like a pistol. It's like a small pistol. They had like so I shot AK, SKS, and a Makarov. The SKSs were super fun. They had like a so you load the mag from the top, and it's like a I think it's called like a strip mag. And you kind of load it from the top. But yeah, it's fucking super fun gun. They're old as fuck as well, though. The SKS, they're old as fuck. They used to be really apparent. I watched a lot of gun YouTube stuff, and apparently back in the day, like you could get those shits for so cheap, and now they're super expensive. SKS guns. I think they're Soviet guns as well. So yeah, I shot a Makarov, which is a pistol, an SKS, which is like a semi-automatic, and an AK. They're the only guns I've shot, and I've done like clay pigeon shooting as well with like a double barrel. Bro, the M1 Grand, like the ping noise it makes, bro, that shit is fucking orgasmic to listen to. You know that ping fucking shit it makes when it ejects the ammo ting. It's bro, that sound is so sick. So you got to shoot the M1 Grand World War II rifle. To this day, that's the heaviest gun I've ever held. That's including the AK, ARs, etc. Yeah, that's mad. Bro, these boys were built different, like you say, man. Because they're not only the guns, like all their kit was heavy and shit, and like the rucksacks, everything they was carrying, the ammo, all that stuff. Madness. And as well as like you think about it, like the terrains they was on, like not on always flat terrain. It's crazy. Crazy, man. And imagine running across like Omaha Beach with that shit, trying to dodge machine gun fire while you're carrying all that shit, bro. And running through sand, jumping over the bodies of your friends and shit. That's insane. But these days, bro, like people like cry and complain about, oh, I feel depressed. I can't do anything. When these men were out here like doing absolute insanity at like 18, 19 years old. Absolutely insane. And yeah, no doubt, yeah, testosterone's dropped. It's dropped crazily. Okay, you fired a Lee 98 rifle and a double barrel shotgun. Very fun. Yeah, my favorite was definitely the AK. Just makes you feel like a badass. It just makes you want to like wear some tatty clothes and take over a village. I can't lie. The AK was fun. It just makes you feel like a fucking absolute alpha Chad. Honestly, the SKS though was good. The loading of the SKS, it just is so cool. You kind of slide in, so you get the mag is like, well, this is what I was using. The mag was like it was like a strip of bullets attached to like a bit of metal, and you slide it in the gun from the top, and then you pull the wire bit back out. It's such a sick way of loading a gun. But yeah, if you, I don't know whether you guys have seen like an SKS, but they're fun. They're old as fuck, but they're fun. Yeah, the ping noise, man. Yeah, I wish I could fire one. I wish I could fire one. Yeah, you get a good workout, man, if you go shooting with that fucking thing. Yeah, in a zombie apocalypse, what type of gun? What type of gun? Sorry, what in a zombie apocalypse? What type of guy of your crew would you be? The leader? I don't know. I would kind of want to do like scavenger runs. That would be pretty fun. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I was the same, Mike. Yeah, I was the same. I was exactly the same. Yeah, no, I think you should as well. Yeah, my parents were the same. I remember once my fucking dad came. I came home from school when I was super young. I was upset because some kid was picking on me, and he was raging with me. He was honestly mad. He was mad because he always taught me what to do in those situations, but I didn't do it, and I eventually made it right. So yeah, that was that. And another time I did that. So some kid was trying to pick on me. I just remembered what my dad said. And I just dashed this kid over the side, like over the side of her face, with a clay pot. It was in arts and crafts, and I just dashed it across the side of his face, cut his top of his eye, his left eye, I think it was, because he was like kicking my chair and trying to put chewing gum in my hair. So I just fucking dashed this kid with a fucking clay pot, and I got suspended for a week. But my dad was happy with me. Like my mum was going schizo, but my dad, I told my dad the scenario, and yeah, he was like, yeah, he basically told my mum to like zip it. I done the right thing, and basically I had a week off school for no, like for free. Basically, I could do what I wanted. Wasn't working, wasn't doing any schoolwork. That was sick, man. Best week off ever. Yeah, yeah. The world is yours. That's a great point. Different times, my bro. I always thought why we speak about PTSD after wars, but Vikings and Romans embraced every battle. Our brains aren't any different from back then. So what is triggering PTSD? Maybe it's because, bro, they was always in a state of war. They was always in a state of war, like constantly. If you weren't, you were dead, kind of thing. Whereas, like modern, that more in the more modern age, you was at war for X period of time, and then you would be put back into civilized life where things are safe. So maybe that's what kind of fucks with people. Maybe it's that what fucks with people. Whereas, like I say, back in the day, like the Vikings and the Romans, etc., these guys were always at war. They was always trying to acquire new territory. That's what I'm assuming. That's what my guess would be. I jammed some kid's face into the microscope when we were dissecting a frog in sixth grade. Bro, we never did anything cool like that. I fucking we dissected a pig's heart, I think it was, or like a cow's heart. I think it was a cow's heart. I think that's what we did, yeah. That's what you need really, isn't it? Yeah, in a zombie apocalypse, you'll need like an easy to carry gun with lots of rounds. So you don't have to reload every 12 seconds. Yeah, and a reliable gun, a gun that doesn't jam and shit and has to be cleaned every other week. You would want a shotgun as well, though, in a zombie apocalypse because it would be super fun. Fucking hell, what is driving past my fucking place? You'd want like a Spaz 12 shotgun or something crazy like that just for fun. Yeah, that may be it. That may be it. The world is yours. That's my guess. That's my guess. I'm assuming it's because those guys were always at war. Yeah, woke bedwetters everywhere. Yeah, man, facts. Facts. They ruin it for everyone else as well. Absolute dorks. Absolute dorks. I never got to digest anything, but I was able to hold fire in my hands. Oh, sorry, dissect anything. But you could hold fire in your hands. Nice. Yeah, basically, I think my generation. So I'm in my late 20s. I nearly said 30s. Fucking hell, I'm not that old. I'm in my late 20s. And I feel like my generation were the last to kind of like really experience bullying the way it was back then on the actual playground. A lot of these kids now just bully online and shit. But you actually had to step up for yourself and stick up for yourself. Because if you didn't, you would just continue to be bullied. But if you stuck up for yourself, that was really it. That was certainly it while you was at that school. That was it. Once you stuck up for yourself once, you're good. You're Gucci, essentially. That's what I found anyway. And you soon realize that's really just a motto of life in general, even when you go into your adult life, because there's still going to be people out there who try to take advantage. And if you draw that line early enough, then you can prevent a lot of these things happening or escalating. That's probably one of the best things my dad taught me. We had to dissect the frog, pick out the pancreas and liver and all kinds of shit. And at that point, I was already Dharma with rodents. That's fucking jokes. 2 revolvers, an automatic shotgun, a katana on my back. Yeah, melee and ranged attacks handy at all times. Yeah, facts. Honestly, a silenced pistol could be good. Because I'm assuming these fucking zombies are like, they hear shit. So firing guns and shit may not be the best idea. When I was in school, bullying was being stabbed, tortured, and beaten 10 on 1. Yeah, that's another thing, Nordic. Like back in my day, you're the same age as me. Like people, like kids bringing knives to school was so regular. Like schools now would fucking close down for that shit. Schools now would close down for that shit. Like if one kid, I reckon now, if one kid had a knife in school, they'd send everyone home. I'm near London, bro. That's the closest. Near London. Yeah, kids nowadays are harassed online. Turn the fucking computer off, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we were the last era, Del. Remember, I'm 1 year older than you, so we're close. Nobody goes in the ward and plays with a stick, bicycle, ball at the park anymore. Yeah, facts. You never see kids outside playing now. They're all stuck inside on social media and shit, playing bullshit games like fucking Fortnite and nonsense like that. None of these kids are going out and experiencing things. You know, when I was young, bro, when I was like in my teenage years, like 13, 14, 15, bro, we was out like for ages, bro. Like just getting up to absolute mischief, man. Doing shit we shouldn't be doing. Nearly got in a bit of trouble, cool, but like you make your mistakes, you learn from it. It's what it is, man. It's like kids don't do that these days, though. They're so sheltered, and once they get into real life now, they've had nothing to really deal with. They're so fucking sheltered. You know I'm near Luton, bro. Yeah, basically, that's another thing. Yeah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't like pay attention to like negative comments on social media. Like that's really all it is. A lot of these guys are fucking dorks and nerds. So it is what it is. You got suspended for carrying a knife in school only for a few days. Yeah, nowadays you probably would be you'd be put in jail or like a young offenders institute. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, you was actually out a lot while you was at school. That's good. I just don't see it round where I'm at. I just don't see it often. Yeah, the parents should take control more onto the kids. They're growing up soft as fuck, and they can't. Yeah, they can't cope with real life facts. Like, think about it, bro. We live in a system now where conceivably there's people who have actually they've got up to the age of 21 years old and they've never held a job. They've stayed in education for that long. That's insane to me. That's actually insane. Yeah, that's facts, Wizard Sleeve. That's facts. These guys would have rolled over, bro. Was there a reason why Nordic was your school full of troublemakers? Yeah, I'm sure Nordic wouldn't be the type of guy, even as a kid, I don't suspect, who would carry a knife just because. I'm assuming it was for like self-protection. Nordic doesn't strike me as that type of fella, even as a kid. Carrying a knife, man, is just dicey because you never know if it gets used. If it gets used, you're fucked. So dicey. That's why these days, man, like, so if I'm like in the club, whatever, and I don't go clubbing as much as I used to, like now and again with friends, but you know what it's like once you get a few drinks down you. But like these days, if like I remember, like for example, on New Year, I bumped into some guy, and he was like, "Oh, do you want?" I don't know what he even said, but he was like trying to kick off about it. I was like, "Bro," I just kind of stared at him for like 2 seconds and just walked off, bro. Like, I these days in the UK, man, you need to be careful who you fight because they could have a blade. It's like there's so many cowards now carrying blades. It's unbelievable, and they're looking for a reason to use them. They're not using them for self defense. They're looking for a reason to actually use them. I saw a video actually on Twitter. It was from Australia where two groups of lads were fighting each other, and like instantly one guy pulls out a blade, like a small blade, just jabs the guy in the neck, like in a second, and like 10 seconds later he collapses on the floor. His carotid artery is just completely severed, and he bleeds out in like 15 seconds and dies. That's how quick that shit can happen. That's how shit that quick that shit can happen quick. Yeah, you shouldn't look for fights anymore. Honestly, like your pride will say something else, but bro, it's not worth it. If you're going to get stabbed, bro, it's not worth it. You never know who you're fighting at the end of the day. Luton's definitely a dump. I know Luton too well. Marsh Farm in Luton. Marsh Farm was one of the worst places in Luton when I was there. I don't know whether it still is, but Marsh Farm is fucking. Marsh Farm is terrible. Berry Park was terrible as well. Berry Park was fucking awful. Yeah, the guy literally gets like he doesn't see it coming, so he gets like jabbed in the neck. He like for a couple of seconds he doesn't realize what's happened. He puts his hand on his neck, and then blood just starts pissing out, and he drops in like 5 seconds. It's crazy. Yeah, probably actually. Yeah, Andrew Tate, the most famous guy to come out of Luton. Yeah, fucking believe it or not, it's crazy. And we've got fucking Tommy Robinson as well. But like for London 7-7 bombers, I think. Yeah, Luton's a fucking cesspit, bro. Honestly, Luton is a cesspit. I don't think anything good has come out of Luton. Honestly, I don't think anything good has come out of Luton. You're taking the piss, Wizard Sleeve. I remember breaking a small school window in the late 70s, which cost me 90p. Are you actually being serious? Or are you taking the piss? That's insane. Yeah, it's insane, bro. Yeah, why do people want to throw their lives away and take away someone else's for literally nothing? It's crazy, bro. I guess it's because they're like got to a point where they're so nihilistic. Their nihilism's got to a certain extent where they literally don't care anymore. So they don't care if they take someone's life or lose their own. Now he just comes across to me as a mega shill. The world is yours. I mentioned this the other day on a stream. Like the amount of these individuals who always have ties to some random agencies, like the Tates, CIA Daddy, Tucker Carlson, fucking another CIA brat. Like so many of these individuals in these like prominent social media places have like peculiar family trees, man. That's all I'll say. Plus, as well, he's a hypocrite, saying about how degenerate the Western world is. Yet he's, he'll complain about the nuclear family being destroyed. Yet he preaches a lifestyle that destroys the nuclear family. Not only from his smut peddling back in the day, but even the way he lives life now. But yeah, to me, just seems across like comes across as like a paid actor, not a paid actor, but like a plant kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think he's an intelligent guy to a certain degree. He's an intelligent guy, but doesn't mean he's right or he's not like or his origin story is like legit. Don't really watch Fresh and Fit. I know who they are. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that sort of content. What I have watched from Fresh and Fit has been on Rumble, where they interview guests who are not dumb bimbos. So, like, they've spoken to, for example, a guy called Ryan Dawson, who's done a lot of research in regards to 9/11. He's got different theories on what happened. Shows like that, I think, are really worthwhile to try and educate people on things like that. But like their actual main content, I don't rate it. I'm not interested. I think it's trash, to be honest. But yeah, Fresh and Fit is not my jazz. On Rumble though, like I said, they have interviewed some interesting people, not to do with like I said, smut and things like that. They have actually interviewed interesting people to try and get the word out there about certain things. So I rate that. I rate that. But yeah, I think they did they get banned on YouTube, Fresh and Fit, or did they get like demonetized? One of the two. I think they may have been demonetized or something. I know who Charleston White is. Is he the guy who does that clip? You got to shoot the motherfuckers with the phones. Is that the guy? Gotta shoot those motherfuckers with the phones. That guy. He's funny as fuck. He is funny as hell. That guy. I can't lie. Gotta shoot those motherfuckers with the phones. That guy's he is jokes. But I don't really watch him. I've seen some of his clips. Okay, that's him. Yeah, that guy's funny. That guy is funny. I can't lie. He is funny. I don't know much about him. I've only seen like some of his clips like go about. But yeah, he always makes me laugh. Just one thing I never really did was shoplifting. I got up to mischief, but I never shoplifted. I never shoplifted. I don't know why, but okay. So he pepper sprayed his opponent. Did he win the fight, Charlton White or Charleston White? Did he win, or did it not happen, or hasn't it happened yet? That's hilarious. He pepper sprayed his fucking opponent. That's jokes. That's hilarious. Yeah, facts. Okay, it got cancelled. Ah, damn. Yeah, he's crazy. That guy, man. He's crazy. He's crazy. That guy's gonna get himself shot if he ain't careful. You wouldn't be surprised if you woke up one day and you saw that Charleston White got shot. He does talk fucking reckless. That guy. He does talk fucking reckless. There's no doubt. That's crazy. I tried to steal Nike joggers back when I was 11 years old at Sports Direct. Man, the way staff called the police on me, within 15 minutes, you was in a police cell. That's crazy. You would get away with that these days, bro. You would get away with that these days with how the police are. Honestly, you'd get away. You'd get away with it now. Yeah, we've had some good fights this year, boxing wise. We've had some good fights. Still certain fights that need to happen that are nowhere close to happening. But listen, start of the year, I probably expected less, to be honest. But there's still so much improvements we can make in boxing. You know, we're still not at the level where we need to be, in my opinion. We're still not at that level. But whether we get there or not is unknown. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. Fury Usyk for main one, bro. Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev is another. I would actually put Canelo Benavidez in there. Honestly, I'd even put Tim Tszyu, Jamel Charlo, because like Jamel Charlo, Canelo to me is what it is. It's kind of a cash grab fight for Jamel Charlo. Joshua Wilder, it's not going to happen. That's another one. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a few. There's a few that need to happen still. Yeah, I think he had a knock. Joe Parker had the style in his prime to give Tua a hard fight because of his boxing, but I think Tua probably gets to him. Honestly, I think Tua probably gets to him. Daniel Hardman, I do like Gassiev Wallin. Yeah, it's a good fight. Matthias Ergashev is a great fight as well. That could be a fight of the year contender. Could be a fight of the year contender. Yeah, it feels like any fight of consequence now, bro, is a pay per view. Like even fights that you know beforehand are gonna flop on pay per view. It's crazy. Like there's so many like random, like for example, Prograis versus Haney on pay per view. That's not gonna sell. It's not gonna sell at all. Why that fight's on pay per view, I'll never know. I don't think the Lomachenko fight sold particularly well. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but like Haney versus Prograis, I can't see that fight doing well at all, and it's on the Zone pay per view as well. So it's like, man, I think that fight's gonna flop hard. Yeah, so do I, man. I like watching Matthias fight. I like watching Matthias fight. Yeah, it's we've had some good fights, man. We have had some good fights, but it's like, bro, I always feel like, listen, we should always expect more when it comes to boxing and the promoters involved. We should always expect more. We're still getting scenarios of promoters standing in the way of certain fights, politics ruining fights, fighters pricing themselves out. We can always do better, you know. We can always do better when it comes to boxing. We need another Dave Allen pay per view. I think I'll lose my shit, bro. Yeah, David Tua, Zoma, he would have been a champion in lesser eras. He would have been a champion in lesser eras. There's been worse champions than David Tua, like Charles Martin, for example. Does Canelo outbox Wilder for a couple of rounds before getting KO'd? I don't know, man. He'd probably get KO'd first shot lands, honestly. Probably not. He'll probably get KO'd first round, in all seriousness. But you never know. You never know. Wilder couldn't handle the elite head movement and angles of Canelo. Yeah, he'd feel Canelo's power and he would stop throwing punches and he would just start tapping and tapping and tapping. Can you imagine? Canelo, the heavyweight champion. It's still fucking really sticky in the UK. It's like been cloudy today, but it's been really humid. It's fucking annoying. I hate that sort of heat. I hate humid heat. It's so fucking annoying. Oh, this is no bueno. Yeah, sweaty as hell, bro. It's mad. Yeah, he never got out. He never got out of second gear against Canelo Bivol. Well, it seems to be on. Honestly, it seems to be on Eddie Hearn's side, Matchroom side. They're the ones saying like, oh, there's. They're the ones saying it's taking time, and it's like there may not be the money there. It's not Wilder's team who are saying it. It's coming from Joshua's team. It seems like they're trying to insinuate the Saudis are not doing what they should be doing, which is interesting. But why should they pay over odds for the fight, right? If you actually really want that fight and the Saudis can't do it, well, try and get Wilder in the UK and put it on pay-per-view. You've got faith Wilder and Joshua's happening? Bro, I think that fight's cursed. I think that fight's cursed. I don't think it's happening, man. I don't think it's happening. I really don't. Not in 2024, man. I don't think it's happening. Eddie was saying not so long ago it's locked in, bro, and this, that, and the third, and now all of a sudden they're struggling with dates and money and this and that. It's mad. Maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're going to go down a different route. Think about it, right? What's an alternative? Joshua doesn't fight Wilder, and he tries to get the Tyson Fury fight. Usyk's got to fight Hrgovic, so he's got that mandatory tying him up. Fury's having his fight with Ngannou. He's got no mandos. They can make Joshua Fury next. They can make Joshua Fury next. Maybe they go that route. Because as Tyson says, it's all about the money for him, right? So maybe they try and make that fight. They'll swerve the Deontay Wilder fight and go for Fury. If he gets the Fury fight instead, I don't blame him, by the way. Fury's a better fighter, so I'm not going to say he'd be ducking Wilder. But I'd rather see the Wilder fight. The Wilder AJ fight to me is super exciting. I can't lie. Somebody's going to get slept. That fight will never go 12 rounds, in my opinion. Someone's going to get slept in that fight. That's a great question. Did Deontay Wilder sign with the Saudis? I know he's been out there a couple of times. There was talks of it. I know there was talks of him joining. I forget what the play is. It called like Skills Challenge or something like that. Pretty certain. I'm pretty certain there was talks of it. We'll see. We'll see. Is how Heyman's still alive. Nobody's seen him in about 10 years. You never know, bro. You never know. But yeah, listen. I hope AJ Wilder happens. To me, it's the fight that makes the most sense. Or well, it's the most interesting, in my opinion, for both guys right now. It's the most interesting. The storyline is there. The history's there. It puts the winner in a good position to maybe fight for a title again. It's got everything that fight. Two punchers, two guys who are vulnerable, two guys who have been stopped. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. I'd favour Wilder right now. If they were to fight tomorrow, I'd probably favour Wilder. Just considering where Joshua's at right now, he doesn't look sure of himself or sure of his style. And yeah, I do wonder whether Joshua's still going through like this identity crisis. I'm not sure. When I look at Joshua fight now, I'm not even convinced that he's fully into boxing anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like he's got a foot out of it to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he's stuck in Ruiz, to be honest. Ruiz came out and said he wanted like 10 million or something crazy, right? I think Andy Ruiz is an easy fight for Wilder. I'll be real. Listen, man. I felt Andy looked fucking dreadful in that Luis Ortiz fight. I felt he looked dreadful when he wasn't knocking down Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was outboxing him at like 43 years old. A slightly fresher Luis Ortiz would have beaten Andy Ruiz. I don't care what anybody says. A shot to shit Luis Ortiz took Andy Ruiz life and death. Andy Ruiz hit the lotto with that first AJ fight. He caught AJ perfectly. It was an upset win, but listen, he ain't that great. He ain't that great, in my opinion. I think Wilder starches him. Wilder could get in trouble if he fires, let's say he fires that right hand and he misses and falls in. In those moments, yeah, Andy could be very dangerous, but I actually don't think there's much risk of Wilder missing with a straight right hand because all Andy does is plod in straight lines, doesn't really move his head. He's got slow feet. I think Wilder would be able to line him up quite easily, to be honest. Like Wilder would have to give it to him on a plate to lose that fight. That could happen, don't get me wrong. Wilder makes mistakes, but I think Wilder would beat him easily. Yeah, struggled with a shot Areola too. Yeah, got dropped in that fight. Have you heard Hearn say that Ruiz and Hrgovic may be next fight for AJ in December? Yeah, I've got no interest in a third Ruiz fight. To be honest, given how he looked in that last fight with AJ, and given how he's looked since, I've got no interest. Hrgovic, again, he doesn't impress me either. I wouldn't mind a Hrgovic fight, but I don't know, just because it's something different. Yeah, basically, Zomi. Yeah, all you have to do is keep Ruiz, keep it long, because he's got T-Rex arms, and don't exchange with him. Basically, yeah, just take a half step back, keep him at arm's length, pop the jab, and look for the straight right hand. That's all Wilder has to do, and he can do that against Andy Ruiz, I believe. I don't think it even takes a great boxer to outbox a guy like Andy Ruiz, personally. Just a bit of length and a bit of foot speed, which Wilder has. That's a great question. There's no real money fights for him if it's not AJ or Wilder. Maybe Andy Ruiz would do well on pay-per-view because of the backstory. Maybe they would do that fight. I wouldn't be interested personally, but maybe casuals would. Maybe Andy Ruiz. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of fighters who are ranked below Ruiz who would beat him. Like, for example, I think a guy like Frank Sanchez, I would bet a lot of money that Frank Sanchez would handily outbox Andy Ruiz. Like Frank Sanchez, for example, has a terrible style for Andy Ruiz. I may even take Joseph Parker in a rematch over Andy Ruiz, and I actually felt Parker won the first fight. A lot of people say, "Oh, Andy got robbed. Andy got robbed." I didn't think he did. It was a close fight, and if you had Andy winning, fair enough. But Joe Parker was far more consistent with his jab in that fight. Anytime it was at distance, Joseph Parker was getting the better of him. See, that would be a good fight, actually. Two guys who are they've kind of got a similar style in a way. Both guys are kind of not great to look at. They're a bit chubby. I think Franklin's a bit taller, but they can move their hands quite quick. They can put shots together. That'll be a good fight. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Yeah, Wilder's resume is bare. There's no wizard sleeve. Yeah, his resume is threadbare. There's no doubt about it. But again, things change, circumstances change, and right now, to me, it seems like the negative energy is coming from Team Matchroom in regards to the Wilder fight. That's all I'll say. Eddie seems to be pouring cold water on it. Yeah, Yoka is a stay busy fight for AJ. He would beat Yoka easily. But how many more of these type of fights can AJ have until people really start to get restless? I don't know. Especially when you've teased the Deontay Wilder fight for so long. Like, they've been teasing this Wilder fight for December for months. Months and months and months. And if he were to now go and fight another tune-up, it's not a good look. Bro, Frank Sanchez, he's had a hard paper round. I'll say that much. He's a good boxer, though. Frank Sanchez. I know his style's not super appealing, but there's a reason this guy doesn't really get many fights. There's a reason he doesn't get many fights. His style is just really awkward for a lot of guys. Honestly, when you look at a guy like Frank Sanchez, I don't think anybody in the heavyweight division looks good against him. I think he loses to the top guys, Fury and Usyk. But I think Frank Sanchez makes these guys look pretty poor he'll make them look ordinary. He's got that sort of style about him. He's got that sort of style about him. See, I'd love to see like AJ fight a guy like Frank Sanchez. I know the casuals wouldn't care for it, but I would. And I know they would never make that fight. They would never make that fight, but I would like to see that fight. To be honest, AJ saying he wants to work on his boxing skills, this, that, and the third. Well, fight a boxer then. Like Frank Sanchez. Bro, I remember when that fight was signed. I was picking Sanchez in that one. So many people were picking a Jagba as well. I'm certain a Jagba was favourite also. Did he actually hit him when he was down? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back and watch that. Yeah, Frank Sanchez. Yeah, he beats Anderson. I think he would completely outbox Jared Anderson and make him look a bit silly. Anderson has athletic ability, but in terms of boxing fundamentals, he is very green. And we saw that with Charles Martin. Charles Martin was able to take advantage of some of those openings. And Martin is like sneaky, he's crafty, but he's not a great boxer himself. And he was able to take advantage of some of those mistakes. And I think Sanchez would honestly make him look terrible. Sanchez would make him look terrible. Completely like school him and embarrass him, like ruin his hype. Speaking of Sanchez, has this guy actually got a fight coming up? This guy's been so inactive since the So he beat a Jagba in October of 2021, and he's had 3 fights since. Christian Hammer, who again, Carlos Negron, and Daniel Martz. He's not been able to push on at all. It's crazy. He's had one fight this year. That's insane. But that's what you get, though, when you sign with PBC, isn't it? That's what you get. Yeah, a Jagba is very fucking stiff, bro. He's a big puncher, strong guy, but nothing else. He's got a half-decent jab. And that's really it. Plus, man, in that fight with Zhan Kozabutsky, I've not spoken about it on the channel, but, bro, he started the whole low blow shit. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Anderson has that Parker thing going on. Loads of potential, but doesn't seem to take advantage of it. Yeah, Parker was like that. Parker had good speed. Parker actually had a good chin as well for a heavyweight. Okay boxing skills, but he never had that desire, that fight. Yeah, Big Baby Miller. Yeah, he's going to fight Manuel Charr by looks of it. I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it. Manuel fucking Charr versus Jarrell Miller. Who's not here for it? It's a good fight, man. I'll watch it. The way I see it, Jarrell Miller, he served his time. Time to fight again, man. Why not? Yeah, the referee was biased in favor of a Jagba, yeah. Because that's what I saw as well. The guy, he was the guy basically starting the low blows, and yeah, Zhan Kozabutsky then took it upon his own to try to get back at him, and he was the only guy getting done for it. And then he got disqualified. Charr versus Miller, the steroids in the air, bro. That'd be crazy. Charr is shit, though. Honestly, I think you could put every steroid known to man in Charr even like experimental steroids we don't even know exist, like state-of-the-art designer steroids. Stick it all in Manuel Char, and that guy is still fucking garbage, honestly. He is so bad, Manuel Char. So bad. Such a trash fighter. How that guy's still about is unbelievable to me. Bro, it was. It was, yeah. Jarrell Miller versus Lucas Brown was fun. It was fun. It was. Do you know what, actually? Funny you mentioned all those names together. Like, Makhmudov versus Jarrell Miller would be a good fight. Yeah, Char is on every gear available and he's still trash, yeah. Yeah, he has, bro. Like, the Povetkin knockout was savage, but ultimately, it was the Briedis knockout, that fucking back foot uppercut, where like Char was marauding forwards and Briedis was on the back foot, half like he kind of turned and uppercutted, and he walked fucking Briedis onto it, and it knocked him out cold, face plant KO. That was such a savage KO. Do you guys know how hard it is to throw an uppercut in general, let alone on the back foot? That was an insane knockout. In terms of like, when you judge a knockout, obviously brutality matters, and that was brutal. But in terms of like skill and difficulty, that honestly is one of the best knockouts we've seen in like the last 10 years. Insane knockout. Absolutely insane knockout. Okay, so the first fight I really remember was Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. I was, I want to say, 8 years old when that happened. And I never watched it live, but I remember all the build up to it. And I remember watching the highlights on TV like a few days later, I think. That was my first introduction to boxing. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And for the next few years, I would watch like the odd fight here and there, like some of Ricky Hatton's fights, Khan's early fights, Khan's Olympic fights, some Calzaghe fights. I would watch fights here and there. And I only really got into boxing hardcore in the late 2000s. So that was when David Haye was like beating Valuev. That's when I got into boxing hardcore. But yeah, like Tyson Lewis was my first exposure to boxing, so to speak. Yeah, the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. I'd love to see that fight. Makhmudov versus fucking Jarrell Miller. Let's go. Yeah, but again, Briedis super inactive. How much does he have left now? That's the thing. Briedis was always that guy to me. Like Briedis was ridiculously talented. He had a lot of skill, but he just wasn't the most consistent. Briedis. He wasn't the most consistent. He had a lot of talent though. Very good cruiserweight champion. But yeah, he wasn't. He was never the most consistent guy. No, nobody's really a boxing fan in my family. Aside from me, I'm like the only boxing fan. Dave Allen versus Trevor Bryan's a 50-50. Trevor Bryan is bad, I can't lie. Briedis is 38. Let him police in peace now. Yeah, he's got a cushy police role waiting for him. He was supposed to come back on some random card, but it never happened. He was supposed to come back on like a Wasserman card in the UK, but it fell through. Yeah, that's a good fight for him. Would be Chris Billum-Smith. He would beat Billum-Smith unless he's like totally shot. He would beat Billum-Smith. I've got Benavidez, bro. I think Andrade, you're going to get your typical Andrade performance. He'll start quickly. Maybe he'll win most of the first 3 or 4 rounds. He'll start okay. Then he'll stop throwing punches. He'll get really negative. He'll try and hold. He'll try and spoil. But I think Benavidez is too big, too strong to allow that to happen. And I think you'll see Benavidez then start to walk him back, clubbing him with shots, making it real rough and tough. I think it will be messy, but I think Benavidez takes over after about 4 rounds, and he'll start to bully him with his size, his strength, his output, his power. And yeah, maybe even stop Andrade late. But more than like maybe, I'm not sure whether he stops him late or wins on points, but I think Benavidez wins. Yeah, he's 38, like as he said. So yeah, he will retire soon. I'm certain. Yeah, yeah, that was pathetic when he was begging Jake Paul for a fight. Yeah. Okay, so Briadis is now trying to fight Chisora. I would watch that actually. I would watch that. I'd like to see how he looks at heavyweight, Briadis. Why not? Right? Why why not? I would watch that. I would watch that. He can certainly pack a punch, as Manuel Char found out. Hang on one sec. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, Bridgerweight could be a good shout for him. The Polish guy, Rozansky, yeah, that could be a good shout. He'd probably win that fight as well. Boo Boo's doo-doo facts, yeah. Boo Boo's shit, man. Boo Boo's like fucking one loss away from like being gone for good, because that's all it will take with Andrade. Once he's lost that O, there's really nothing else he can bank on. And even now with that O, he's barely relevant. But once he loses, that's it for him. He's 35. Listen, I hope to see that Benavidez fight. I hope to see that Benavidez fight, so we can see this guy just get gone from boxing. Miller v Bakole would actually be a fucking great fight. I can't lie. That would be a great fight. Miller versus Bakole at heavyweight would be a barn burner. I'd love to see that fight, actually. Stylistically, that gels because Miller, as we know, is a come-forward guy, pressure fighter, swarmer. And Bakole's comfortable up close. That's his style as well. He likes to shorten his punches and fight up close. That's a great fight. As bad as Wilder's title reign was, at least he was active and actually fought boxers. Fury is even worse. Listen, we have to ask ourselves that question now. Fury's title reign hasn't been any better than Wilder's. Not really. Now, you can make the argument Dillian on paper is better than anybody Wilder beat. If we're looking at it from a resume perspective, what's Dillian done compared to what's Wilder's best wins done? But in a head-to-head, I would still take Ortiz over Dillian, personally. Just my opinion. I always got the impression Briedis was sometimes as good as his opponent. If his opponent looked good, then he looked good. If that makes sense, can't quite find the right words, but I think I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there are certain fighters who are like that. Like Nordic said, Calzaghe is a perfect example, and even Tyson Fury. As much as I dislike him, Tyson Fury tends to be like that as well. Tyson Fury tends to be like that as well. Listen, man, the way I see it, Jarrell Miller, he served his ban. He should be able to fight again. That's the way I see it. He served more bans than most fighters. Like he served longer bans than most fighters. Yes, I know he's tested positive for like 3 substances. I get it, but there's been numerous fighters who have like had multiple drug failures, and nothing's really happened. Miller's done his time. I want to see him fight again. Personally, I want to see him fight again. He's got a fun style. He's got a fun style. Why not? Why not? I liked Zoma's idea. Miller versus Bacole. That'd be a great fight. That'd be a great fight. Miller versus Wilder, bro. The build up would be so funny. Yeah, Wilder's reign was horrible, but Fury's reign is even worse somehow. Yeah, man, it's just the WBC's been in limbo since Vitali dropped it, basically. Miller stops Wilder in a real fight. It's hard to me. It's too hard to say because of Miller's inactivity. Like he looked a bit ropey against Lucas Brown. Don't get me wrong, he was like winning every round, but he needs to show like I want to see him a bit active to see where he's at. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. That'd be a fun fight, though. It'll be a fun fight. Low key, low key, low key. A lot of people may not like it, but low key, I am somewhat rooting for Miller to make a success of his comeback, just to see the reactions, like the soy reactions. I kind of want to see Miller do well. But it makes you wonder, Naz, if AJ couldn't hurt Miller, it makes you wonder. Because Miller, listen, Miller's work rate is far superior, as we know. Whether you think that's natural or not is anyone's guess, but Miller's work rate and stamina is far superior to AJ's. And if AJ couldn't hurt Miller, bro, I do wonder. I do wonder. Yeah, that's one thing he did show. Yeah, he took some big shots from Brown, and they didn't affect him whatsoever. He's got a big ass head, though, Miller. Like he's got a block head. He's got a big ass fat head, Jarrell Miller. And yeah, that's the fight, Wayne. Even like I would still love to see Joshua Miller now. I would still like to see Joshua Miller now. Yeah, he got better against Lucas Brown. From what I remember, he got better as the fight went on. Like you could tell he was very rusty. You could tell he was very rusty. Or and off peds, obviously. Yeah, Miller's like a bigger Ray Mercer, but without the great jab and probably less power. Yeah, he's not a big puncher, Miller, but he just throws so many. That's what gets to his opponents. It's the activity. Yeah, if he was somebody else, bro, he certainly that situation would have been handled a lot differently. I think we all know that. Yeah, Miller Makhmadov's another one. That's another one. Yeah, Miller Makhmad. So yeah, Miller Makhmadov is another one that could be a barn burner. Dude's 35 and overweight. He doesn't have many fights left in him. You're probably right, bro. Yeah, that was one of the worst. Yeah, that was a total mismatch. Like Adamek at that time had no business being in the ring, let alone against an up and comer. And as much as I liked Adamek, honestly, I think even like when he beat the likes of Ariola at heavyweight, I don't think that version is enough to beat Miller. I just think Miller was so much bigger. I I think he would always struggle, to be honest. Not that he's a better fighter than Adamek, because he's not. I just think the size would play a toll. Like, he was so much bigger. Miller eats bigger dinners than Adamek. It's actually insane. Like, Thomas Adamek, his career goes under the radar. He was a light heavyweight champion, a cruiserweight champion, and he fought for a heavyweight title, and he beat a guy like Chris Ariola. Adamek had a very, very good career that goes way under. He's way like underrated, in my opinion. He had a very good career, though, Thomas Adamek. Really skilled fighter. The Cunningham fights, man. Good fighter. Good fighter. Oh, yeah, bro. Adamek would take Billam Smith to school, bro. Yeah, facts. Yeah, he did beat Michael Grant. Yeah, he did. Bro, Michael Grant. That's a blast from past. Jesus Christ. Michael Grant. Fucking hell. Forgot that guy even lived. Christ. He was like the Deontay Wilder prototype. He was like the Deontay Wilder prototype. Not as good as Wilder, but Golota as well, yeah. Shot Golota, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with Miller's style, man. He doesn't hit hard enough to like take that sort of guy out in one shot, but he'll just dish it out, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm struggling on Zhilei Zhang versus Joe Joyce too. I really am. I'm struggling on who to pick. I want to see the weigh-in. If I see that Joe Joyce is coming in light again, I'll probably pick Zhang again, to be honest. Sorry, I picked Zhang to beat Joe Joyce this time. I picked Joe Joyce first time. But yeah, if Joe Joyce comes in light, like he did first time, I'd probably pick Zhilei Zhang to win in the rematch. Yeah, he was an utter hype job. Michael Grant, big dude, could punch a bit, but yeah, he was supposed to be the next big thing. Michael Grant, and then Lennox Lewis happened, never really recovered. Yeah, he was certainly more skilled, Nordic. Adamek was certainly more skilled, but Marco Huck was awkward, and he always had that knack of he could drag a better boxer into a fight. But I would take, honestly, I would take Adamek in that fight. Honestly, though, mate, I would take Wolodarczyk over Marco Huck. I don't think he was ever. Huck had all the title defenses, but I don't think he was ever most skilled cruiserweight in his era. I really don't. But he was a good fighter still. He was a very good fighter. I'm certainly not debating that. And I can't lie, I felt he lost to Lebedev as well. I'll be real. I felt he lost to Lebedev. Yeah, I felt Lebedev won as well. But I felt Marco Huck beat Povetkin. I wish we get honestly after the Povetkin fight, I kind of wanted to see more of Huck at heavyweight. Because he only had one fight at heavyweight, and basically that was it. He fought Povetkin, and I felt he beat Povetkin. And yeah, That was it, really. Went back down to cruiserweight. He was after he lost to Usyk. He was coming back at heavyweight, but then he's not fought since 2020. So I'm assuming he's retired. Marco Huck. Yeah, he gave Povetkin. There's a great fight as well, by the way. If anybody's never seen it, the Povetkin Hook fight is worth a watch. It was a really good fight. Really, really good fight. But yeah, I felt he beat Povetkin personally. I'm not even saying it was a robbery as such. I don't think it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I think you could make a case for a draw, maybe even Povetkin by 1 round, but I just had Hook win him. The thing is with Hook, I just don't think we had a big enough sample size of him at heavyweight. I would have liked to have seen him have a few more in around that time, honestly. Oh yeah, fuck Hughie Fury. I hope he stays inactive. Honestly. Oh, you've got it. It's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. Yeah, Usyk versus Marco Huck was super one-sided. He punished Marco Huck in that fight. One of the best MMA fighters of all time, I'd say. Unbeaten, which is rare in MMA. Michael Hunter's a good fighter. But he's wasted his career, bro, in the last few years. He should have fought Hrgovic. He wasted some really good momentum that he built for himself. He wasted some really good momentum because he was at his best. Michael Hunter was a very good contender, both at cruiserweight and at heavyweight. Gave Usyk a half decent fight. Clearly lost, but gave him a half decent fight. Exposed Bakole, exposed Sergey Kuzmin, destroyed Ustinov, gave Povetkin a hell of a fight. I felt a draw was about right in that fight as well. Yeah, he ruined his career, bro, by ducking Hrgovic and doing God knows what he's done. He's ruined his career. Yeah, Huey's still a baby. Just give him time. Peter still bottle feeds him his own milk. Bro, yeah. Bro, there are so many Huey Fury fanboys still, though. There's like a small sect of UK fans, or like a real small sect, who still believe like Huey Fury is going to do something. It's unbelievable. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so Michael Hunter went to Triller. Yeah. And obviously the money was never there, like G-Man said. Yeah, why not, man? Yeah, exactly. Like, especially considering how bad Hrgovic has looked recently. I reckon, like, he probably looks back at that and he kicks himself. But like Azzy basically said, like he made those choices. He made those choices. I don't feel sorry for him at all. Like he just built some really good momentum to where like he was fighting guys away from home. He was taking risks. He was building up. He was actually building up like a cult following of like hardcore fight fans who just wanted to see guys take fights. And he built up a small like group of hardcore fans, and he just ruined it. Absolutely ruined it. Which is it's a shame. It really is. But there you go. He's made that choice, and now he's got to live with it. Now he's on the outside looking in. Now he's on the outside looking in. Is what it is. Yeah, bro, me too. I was when Hunter was like traveling about, beating Kuzmin, beating Bakole, gave Usyk a real good fight. I was a fan as well. He made me into a fan, and I was quite vocal at the time how much I liked Hunter. But bro, the Hergovic situation, that shit's unforgivable. And that's another thing. If Hunter could have been bothered to make 200, Usyk moved up, Hunter would have been there or thereabouts, bro. He would have been there or thereabouts. I remember making a prediction for Hunter Usyk. I think I was the only person in the YTBC talking about how underrated Hunter was. Yeah, that's a great spot. Because that fight came really early for Hunter as well. Was he like 11-0 or something like that? It was quite early, I believe. It was pretty early in his career. But yeah, he was a very good fighter, Hunter, who just ruined his career, basically. Terrible advice, terrible management. I don't know whether he's got a manager or whether I don't know whether anybody's looking out for his career, but just terrible career moves. Really, 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 really poor career moves. And he was a likable guy as well outside the ring. But yeah, he just ruined his career, bro. He just ruined his own career. I just can't feel sorry for somebody like that. Yeah, Hunter was early in his career, but he had been a sparring partner for the Klitschko's, Tyson Fury, and Wilder, and had given all of them a lot of trouble. Yeah, and he was a good amateur as well, Michael Hunter. I know he fought in the Olympics in 2012, I believe. So yeah, he was a good amateur. He was a good amateur. Yeah, because he's recently fought in that combat league thing, that bullshit combat league. So it's not like I don't know what that's weird. It's like some weird combat league. It's not quite boxing. It's weird. Yeah, he got too big for his own boots, bro. He got too big for his own boots, and he thought he was a bigger deal than he was. Like he could pick and choose, and yeah. But yeah, so it's one of those stories in boxing. We've seen it before with fighters who ruin their own careers, and Michael Hunter's one of them, as far as I'm concerned. Had the talent to do a lot more, in my opinion. Had the talent to do a lot more than he's done. And I think it's too late now. How old's Michael Hunter now, do you reckon? 35? I don't really know how old he is, but 30, yeah, 35. Bang on, 35 years old. Yeah. He ain't doing shit now. He's done. Big up BG London. I think a 40-year-old Kovalev would beat Billum Smith. There was talks about that fight at one point in time. There was talks about that fight at one point in time. About a year ago, maybe. I don't know what Kovalev is doing, by the way. I don't know whether he's still fighting or not. He won his first He won his last fight. Yeah, he won his last fight. He fought Turvel Pulev, Pulev's brother, and beat him on points. But Turvel Pulev is trash. He was an absolute fucking scrub, honestly. He was terrible in that fight. Yeah, Billum Smith is a very weak world champion. Very weak world champion. He'll get beat when he by the other elite cruiserweights, I believe. He's a tough guy, though. He's a tough guy. Got a decent chin. He's physically strong, and he's got a bit of dig about him. He can crack a bit, but he's not a great boxer. There's a couple of fights in America. What's his name? Bernardo Lopez is fighting Joet Gonzalez. He's defending his title. That's really all I'm aware of. I think there may be like a BT card as well with loads of prospects on it. And also I think there's a PBC card maybe this weekend. Maybe. Let's have a look on. I think there's a PBC card. Let's have a look. So yeah, that Bernardo Lopez fight is on Saturday. It's fucking quiet recently in boxing. Really quiet. Okay, yeah. So yeah. But no, there's a DAZN card, which isn't great. William Zepeda against Mercito Gesta. Yeah, it's a shit weekend of boxing, guys. It's a shit weekend of boxing. Yeah, that's his claim to fame. Billum Smith. Yeah, he beat Akole. Billum Smith isn't too good, but Akole is terrible and unwatchable. Yeah, facts. Terrible style. Yeah, he fought on the Rozansky Babic undercard. Yeah, he beat some unbeaten Ukrainian guy. Bakole's decent, I think. I think he's a decent fighter. Billy Nelson gasses him up as the next Evander Holyfield, but he's not quite that, but he's a good fighter. I think he would give a lot of heavyweights issues. Chuck fucking Jared Anderson in with Martin Bakole. Why not? I wouldn't be surprised if Martin Bakole does to Anderson what Hunter did to him if they were to fight. Yeah, I saw that on social media that, yeah, Yigit was pissed that he had to make his own way to hospital after that fight. Yeah. But it was a good fight. I saw the fight on the undercard. Yeah, a good fight. Yeah, that's the thing with Bakole. Yeah. He likes eating more than training. Yeah. He's actually got some skills, though. He's a strong dude. He hits hard. When I say skills, he's got interesting skills for a heavyweight. He shortens his punches really well. He can fight on the inside. He can dig to the body. Good uppercuts, etc. He's not the greatest boxer in the world, but he's got some interesting attributes for a heavyweight. If he can stay on your chest, he's a problem. I don't think he's a bad fighter, Bakole. Yeah, that'd be a great fight. Bakole versus Makhmudov. That'd be a great fight. Big juggernaut, yeah, Joe Joyce. But yeah, that's coming around soon. That's a week Saturday, yeah. That's like the next best fight coming. I am looking forward to that, actually, because I've got no idea how it goes, to tell you the truth. I might even duck out making a prediction. I kind of, like I said earlier, I kind of need to see the weigh-in for that fight. I don't want to see Joe Joyce come in light again. but that's just me. Yeah, bro, man. His decision to leave Matchroom isn't looking too bueno. Because I initially thought they was going to reschedule that Billum Smith fight, like do a rematch, but nobody's going to want to see that again. I think with Akole, they're going to have to try to completely repackage him. And the only way you can do that, in my opinion, is by moving him to heavyweight, where maybe that whole grab style is going to be a lot less effective because he's going to be fighting bigger guys. Naturally, the output is lower at heavyweight anyway, so maybe his style becomes more palatable at heavyweight. If I was Ben Shalom and Boxer, I would try to persuade Akole to go to heavyweight. I don't think he'll be great at heavyweight, but maybe you get some better fights. And I'm really clutching at straws here. I get it. I know I'm clutching at straws. I'm not saying this will happen or that Akole will be more entertaining at heavyweight, but it could happen, right? I've heard this, Sparks. I've heard this about Bellend coming out of retirement, yeah, to fight for the Bridgerweight title, the Polish dude, yeah. Oh yeah, man, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Big up to Billum Smith. I'll say what everybody thinks. Screw the octopus man. Yeah, facts. Can't argue. Can't argue. I'm just trying to like be diplomatic about it. If I was like his promoter, what I would do, and I would try to I would try to convince him to go to heavyweight. I really would, and try to repackage him. That's what I would do. Feed him a couple of real stiffs in his first couple of fights, get some early knockouts, and try to rebuild him. Basically, that's what I would do. See you later, Naz. Big up to yourself, my boy. Big up to yourself. Buatsi versus Aziz. It's a very good fight. It's a very good fight at domestic level. Both guys are honestly above British level, in my opinion. Aziz is the European champion, and Buatsi, I think, beating guys like Richards and Bolotniks puts him above domestic. It's a good fight. Final eliminator. Aziz has a real good work rate. He's improved a lot in recent years. Very steady fighter, good guard, good on the inside. A steady fighter. I think Buatsi's punch power probably sees him through in that fight. I think he'll land the more hurtful shots. I think he'll probably take advantage of Aziz's aggression. But I think Aziz gives him trouble. But I think Buatsi wins, maybe on points. No, it's not. I'm not saying like Aziz is world class or anything like that, but he's been pretty solid at domestic level. And he's just seems like a tough bastard. I think basically the fight I kind of see a similar fight, like, you know, when Craig Richards fought Buatsi, where like it was competitive, but Buatsi clearly won. I see it being one of those sort of fights, basically. I see it being one of those sort of fights. Thoughts on Hitchins versus Zepeda? Good fight. Hitchins is a better natural boxer. Zepeda's a bigger man who hits harder, better punch output as well. Oh god, that's a hard one. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I like Zepeda a lot. I think Zepeda's pressure, I think people overlook it. When he fought Jojo Diaz, like, he put a ridiculous pace on Jojo Diaz. I think he broke the lightweight CompuBox record in that fight for throwing the most punches. Zepeda's not your average pressure fighter. He does it times 1,000. So I'm not sure. And Hitchens doesn't. Does he have a pop to keep him off? I don't know. Plus, I think Hitchens anyways at 140. Zepeda's at 135 right now, but that could happen because Zepeda will go up. Yeah, people are saying this. Yeah, maybe the WBC try and push it through. That'll set the cat amongst the pigeons if they order that fight. Yeah, I'll try and stream more often on Twitch, Hands. I'll try and stream more often on Twitch. It's finding time and doing all the other shit as well, kind of thing. Yeah, Aziz is solid. I don't see him being dominated, but I think Buatsi will have too much. Yeah, that's how I see it, basically. It'll be competitive, but yeah, Buatsi wins. Yeah, let's get it, man. Wilder AJ. I'm taking Wilder by knockout over AJ right now. If I had to pick right now and they fought tomorrow, I'm taking Wilder by knockout. Yeah, man, and listen, man, there's far worse eliminators, right? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't care how we get the fight at this point in time. I just want to see it finally happen. I just want to see it finally happen. I don't think we will. To be honest with you, I don't think we will see it. Yeah, so he walked his way out of his top rank contract. And he is supposed to, there's an eliminator for the IBF title between him and Jose Ramirez, and I think purse bids are going to get called soon. So he could be fighting Jose Ramirez in his next fight. That's a good fight. Yeah, you'd say Wilder, Inoue, Crawford, Beterbiev. Honestly, Junto Nakatani might be up there. He's a hard puncher. Junto Nakatani may be up there, to be honest. Yeah, he's a dork, Tony Bellew. He won 2 rounds. 2 rounds maybe in that fight. He's an idiot. Delusional. Yeah, 3 at best, yeah. But yeah, I'd say he won 2 rounds maybe. Oh, sorry. When he was talking about Zepeda versus Hitchens, I was thinking of the other Zepeda, William Zepeda at lightweight. Somebody asks about Zepeda versus Hitchens. Oh, sorry, yeah. Chon Zepeda, the guy who got beat up by Prograis last time out. Yeah, I think Hitchens outboxes him. I was thinking about the other Zepeda. Sorry about that, yeah. I was thinking about the other Zepeda. Yeah, that's a decent undercard. Yeah, Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos, Ugas Barrios. Yeah, 2 good fights there. Elijah Garcia is fighting Armando Resendez, the guy who just beat Hurd. I've heard a lot about Elijah Garcia, but I'll be real, I've never seen the guy fight. I don't think. Or have I seen him fight? He may have fought on the Tank undercard. I think I have seen this guy fight. Let's have a look. I'm gonna box track him. I'm gonna do a box track warrior job. Hang on. I think he fought on that undercard. Yeah, against Zambrano. I did see that fight. Yeah, he was okay in that fight. That's the only fight I've seen him in. Bear in mind, but I've seen a lot of people say like Elijah Garcia is like one of the best prospects in boxing. I felt he looked good, but I didn't see that sort of performance. I think, for example, like Jesus Ramos is far more exciting, like as a prospect. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Zepeda's the other Zepeda's fighting Gester at lightweight. Yeah, on DAZN. Apparently, he's been training with Roy Jones, Big Charlo. That's what I've been reading. Yeah, he impressed me a lot on the Ryan Garcia Tank undercard. Joannes Tellez, yeah, he beat Sergio Garcia in 3 rounds, and Sergio Garcia is, again, I'm not saying the guy's elite or anything like that, but he's shown he's at a certain level. He arguably beat that big lanky cunt Sebastian Fundora. He gave Sebastian Fundora hell, and this Joannes Tellez guy destroyed him like in 3 rounds. That's not easy. And that was like Joannes Tellez's 5th fight or something. He'd only fought 6 rounders prior to that, and he was stop start in his career because he originally moved to Russia to start his pro career. Then he went in limbo for a while, moved to the USA, and out of nowhere he beat Sergio Garcia. Yeah, Joannes Tellez he's an exciting fighter, very a guy to work. He's a guy worth keeping an eye out on. He's a guy worth keeping an eye out on, in my opinion. Again, when it comes to these Cuban fighters, this new generation of Cuban fighters, they seem to get it. As in, like guys like David Morrell, Robeisy Ramirez, uh, Tellez, that they seem to be more willing to open up and put shots together and be more exciting. So yeah, he's definitely worth keeping an eye out on. Honestly, I think he's a good fighter. He needs to be more active, David Morrell. I'll tell you that much. He certainly needs to be more active. But I mean, listen, I would like a Benavidez fight, but it looks like Benavidez is fighting Andrade. Honestly, I'd love to see Caleb Plant, but maybe Caleb Plant's fighting Jamal Charlo. Who knows? But I think Caleb Plant would be good. Christian Mbili would be a good fight for him. John Ryder would be a good fight for him. Those sort of guys would be ideal. 168 is kind of dead, so it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, those sort of guys. So yeah, like John Ryder, Mbili, Plant, those sort of guys. Yeah, BoxRec is crazy, man. BoxRec's fucking ranking system's terrible. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Plant would never take that fight. Not next. But I think someone like Mbili would, because Mbili's not like a massive ticket seller from what I understand. He's kind of looking for a fight. So maybe Christian Mbili against David Morrell. That would be a fun fight. Mbili's got a really fan-friendly style. Yeah, if boxing was a 6-round sport, Caleb Plant would be unbeaten right now. He'd be unbeaten right now if boxing was a 6-round sport. He'd be unbeaten. But yeah, just doesn't have that gas tank or durability for 12 rounds, in my opinion. But he's all right. He's got skills, but he's just not my cup of tea as a fighter. How far does Ben Whittaker go? Oh, it's hard to say, man. He's athletically gifted, tall and rangy. To me, it's way too early. I'm kind of a little underwhelmed, to tell you the truth, because I liked him in the amateurs, but I don't know. I was kind of like, I kind of thought he'd be the best out of a bunch from 2021, but I'm not so sure now, man. I'm not so sure. We'll see. It's way too early to tell with Ben Whittaker. It's way too early to tell. But yeah, it's one of those. We'll see, man. He needs to be stepped up. He needs to be stepped up because he was a very decorated amateur. I think it's time to step him up now, go through the levels, see where he's at. But, we'll see. I don't like the hands down style, bro. I really don't. I don't like the hands down style. All well and good doing that against the guys he's fighting right now. But I don't know. I think Galal Yafai has got a perfect pro style, to be honest. I think his style is made for the pro ranks. He's looked decent. He's looked decent enough so far. He had that one fight where he wasn't particularly great. It was a close fight against a Mexican kid. I don't think there's a lot of people actually felt he lost that fight. I actually felt he won it. That was against I forget the guy's name, like Garcia or something. But aside from that fight, he's looked pretty good. In flyweight, I mean, you look at flyweight right now. Artem Dalakian's a champion. Artem Dalakian is 36 years old, not the most active. I don't think Dalakian looked all that great last time out. I think he could beat Dalakian and become a champion. I think he could beat Dalakian. Could he beat Sonny Edwards? That's interesting. I think he would have a shot at honestly, I think he would have a shot at beating Sonny Edwards. Now that was his brother. That was his brother. Cal Yafai. That was Cal Yafai. His brother got fucked up by Roman. Yeah. Cal Yafai retired, I'm sure. I'm sure he retired. But yeah, I think Galal Yafai can become a world champion. When you look at the context of flyweight, he could beat Dalakian, in my opinion. Who are the champions? Jesse Rodriguez is for WBO. Sonny Edwards is the IBF. I think Dalakian holds for WBA. Yeah, he holds for WBA. I'm not sure who holds for WBC. I forget. Maybe the WBC is vacant. I don't know. I think the WBC may be vacant. No, Julio Cesar Martinez has the WBC. That'll be a good fight, Honestly, in terms of matchmaking for fan-friendly fights, Galal Yafai versus Julio Cesar Martinez would be a barn burner. Yeah, it's Martinez. Yeah. And Martinez hasn't looked great recently. So yeah, Galal Yafai can become a world champion. He can. He can beat a Dalakian. I'm not saying it's an easy fight, by the way. But Dalakian is not the strongest champion in the world. He's a decent boxer, but not the strongest. And Martinez, same goes for him as well. Tough guy, hard puncher, awkward style. But he's not unbeatable. And listen, Galal can win those fights. I also think Galal could maybe beat Sonny Edwards. I think Sonny Edwards gets a little bit too much credit, personally. I don't think he's this maestro guy that a lot of people paint him out to be. I see a guy in Sonny Edwards who gives up a lot of ground in the ring on occasion and invites guys on to apply pressure. And he gets tagged up in those moments when he's kind of got his back against the ropes and things like that. You know, we saw that in a couple of his, like, look at Sonny Edwards' last fight against Andres Campos. Campos was finding the target, and he was a very rudimentary pressure fighter, very rudimentary. Usually one shot at a time, coming in straight lines. And Campos gave, I wouldn't say he gave Sonny Edwards like hell, but he gave him some trouble. Same goes for Felix Alvarado. Same goes for Mohamed Wazim. Like, these guys all gave Sonny Edwards issues. See what I'm saying? So, like, Galal could very easily beat Sonny Edwards, in my opinion. I've seen so many people like pick Sonny Edwards without doubt over even a guy like Julio Cesar Martinez. I wouldn't count on it. Yeah, I think he'll destroy. I think Bam will destroy Sonny. Sonny will be awkward early on. He'll be elusive and things like that. He'll be cagey and kind of negative early. But for me, that fight, you'll see Sonny Edwards adopt a survival tactic very quickly, I believe. And at that point in time, it's really how long it takes Bam to try and get rid of him. If he can get rid of him, that is. But yeah, I certainly think he'll be outworked by Bam. I don't think he's got the offense to keep Bam honest. And quite frankly, I don't think he's got the boxing skills to outbox Bam. Bam is a very good front foot boxer. He can sidestep you. He can counter on the front foot. He can set traps. He can work from body to head. He can change levels with it. He can mix things up. I think Bam will beat Sonny comfortably, to be honest with you. I do. But I think Bam beats him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating Sonny, but I've never been as impressed with Sonny as a lot of people are. There's a lot of people I know who really rate Sonny Edwards. I'm just not one of them. But who knows? Maybe I'm harsh. Maybe I'm being harsh on Sonny. Maybe I'm being harsh on Sonny Edwards. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the Smith family were in bits, bro. Old Paul Smith was shouting and screaming about. Yeah. And hopefully now we get... I kind of want to see Eubank fuck up Ben. I can't lie. I kind of want to see Eubank fuck up Ben. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. We've been going for too long. I need to get to bed, I think. It's getting late. Got work tomorrow, so yeah, I'm going to get off. I'll try and make a couple of videos in the week, but there's really not much to talk about, to tell you the truth, when it comes to boxing. There's really not too much to talk about. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.